welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to something a little bit different, something special, something amazing. Welcome back to our very first time broadcasting the Code for Giants Cup number 5. I'm, of course, Joseph VIP, and with me, I'm joined by these amazing players, the people in the chat, and by my amazing plushies as well. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to a Brazilian-only tournament. I had no idea. I had very little information about this event. I had no idea that it was being held for so long. There's already been 5 iterations of this tournament, but we are here, we are back, and it has been so long. There are so many familiar faces in this event. It's been so long since we've casted a Brazilian-only tournament or a Latin American event. Fun fact, I rocked up here tonight, I rocked up here today, messaged the players, and they were all welcoming me back. They were both Shakti and Kamikaze, they're like, Papi, you're back. Oh my god. But here we go, let's just jump right in. Then we can talk about the event itself. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ocean Board, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the Red Terran representing Eximius Gaming. It is Kamikaze. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brazilian Protoss, the Brazilian Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Eximius Gaming. He used to go by Nano. He is Shakti. Let's go. Fala galera, papi, fala galera. Great to see Sinisho in the chat. I'm sure Icegar is out there lurking somewhere as well, and it's great to be back. For those who are maybe newer viewers of the channel, the CranKy Ducklings, we're kind of born and raised in the Latin American StarCraft community in the early days. Fun fact, our first major event that we casted was in 2019, and it was Copa America. Copa America back in 2019. After Copa America, we started looking for more events to cast. We became the main English caster for Battle of the Americas, which was a regional-only weekly tournament that was region-locked to the North and South Americas region. And we were also the English stream for Sentimiento Latino as well, which was a Latin American-only bi-weekly tournament. Every 2 weeks, only for Latin American players, we would be casting plenty of Sentimiento Latino. There was also Copa Hyperion, which was another bi-weekly tournament. There was El Prisma, there was La Espira, there was Amantes de StarCraft. There was a lot of Latin American StarCraft going on back in the day. They slowly dried up though, one after the other, especially with the dissolution of the Latin American region in EPT. I don't know if you remember this, but back in the day, I say back in the day, only a couple of years ago, EPT Latin America and EPT Americas were separate. They were once separate, but in recent years, they were merged together. As a result, a lot of Latin American players did retire or did stop competing. Despite initiatives to keep the region going, like it was difficult. It was difficult. You know, the regions were shrinking. A very similar thing happened to the Australian region, to the Oceanic region. Once it got merged with the rest of Asia as well, and also China in recent years. So yeah, you know, it is something that's been happening over the years, but that's why I champion and I love the fact that Cosmito has brought together this tournament, Code for Giants Cup. It is a bi-weekly Brazilian-only tournament, and plenty of Brazilian players have been embracing this, have been rocking up, have been coming back into the game and motivated once again to compete and to improve. I am all here for it. That is all. Well, that is what we are all about. So I'm happy to embrace this. I'm happy to jump into this TVP. Let's go. Fun fact, so again, to reiterate, this is a Brazilian-only tournament. Every 2 weeks they host this event, and we will be the main English casters. We'll be here for it every single week, as often as we can at least. For now, it's going to be double gas open. Double gas into Reaper Hellion. Just a handful, 2 Reapers, 2 Hellions moving out across the map. Kamikaze back at home, settling into his 1-1-1 as we were for a fake proxy Rax here at the natural base. We do rock up at the natural. Shield battery is already ready. We have an Adept as well. Shakti is prepared both in the main and the natural, and we do cancel the Shade. Adept is in position, but we get a full scout. The Reapers are going to full scout of the main base. It is going to be a very defensive opener, robo opener here. And the Hellies, they get in. They bust into the middle line. Probes are going to be going down. 3 probes so far. Not bad. 3 probes do fall. A 4th probe as well. Oh my god, as we get even more damage done in the main base. And we're going for a Colossus drop. The Prism is out. Colossus is on the way. Okay, so we're rushing into Colossus really fast. +1. Okay, there we go. There we go. We're going into War Prism speed to be able to drop across the map. This is not seen too often in this matchup. Nina, is that you? Estrella, is that Nina Estrella? Some of the American Protoss players do rely on this from time to time. Great to see Shakti embracing this as well. Now, fun fact, I actually spoke about Shakti, like, unrelated to this tournament. It was this week, I brought up Nano, I brought up Shakti in a game. It was in Estrella's game in SC2 Safe House, as we're going to get a couple of probe kills. I say a couple, 4 workers going down, a good amount of damage dealt here by Kamikaze back at home, settling into his bio, not into his mech. Kamikaze is known to be a bit of a mech enjoyer, but not right now. Is embracing bio, as here comes that Colossus drop. But yeah, during the SC2 Safe House, when we were casting Estrella, I can't remember who, I think it was Estrella versus Vindicta, but I was referring to Estrella, and I was talking about his composition, how it reminded me of Nano, who is Shakti. Right? It reminded me of Shakti, the Brazilian player, and I went on a little bit of a tangent about years gone by casting Shakti, and it's great to see that he's still competing, great to see him back, and what I was talking about, oh my god, is the Prism takes so much damage. The juggling is real. Calm down, Bobby, calm down. The juggling is real. We do save the Colossus, but we barely trade anything for it. We get 1 Marine and 2 Heli, and still not the best trade for the Colossus. Prism has taken a lot of hits, and more Vikings are on the way. But Shakti is known for something. He's known for a certain style. We called it Nano Mech back in the day, because Shakti's ID used to be Nano. And what it referred to was a very robo-heavy composition. It looks like we're not going for that, but I'm laying this down, you know, just in case we see it later on, and I assumed it would be with these robos. But imagine if all these gateways were robos. Imagine if this guy had like 5 or 6 robos on 3 or 4 bases and was making like mass Colossus Immortal, and then eventually throwing down some Stargates. like that, like that's the kind of play. And Shakti was doing this at like the GM level, you know, like 5.6k MMR sort of thing. Which is pretty high up there. Here we can see we're warping in. You know, we invested into warp gate, we got gateways finishing up as well. We're not quite embracing that kind of style yet, but maybe in game 2, maybe in an extended series. So now Prism is gonna pull back. Colossus still looking for damage. So far this opener hasn't done much, to be honest. And we can't afford to lose it. We no! We can't afford to lose it. We catch the Prism, we catch the Colossus. The Cyclone's gonna be able to hunt it down, and the Colossus does fall. Massive pickoff here from Kamikaze. Oh my god. Speaking of, a bit of a Kamikaze there from Shakti again. It was so risky to stay active on the map, and we bleed out a Colossus and the Prism. Rough loss for our Protoss player. We are still building on more Colossus. We're settling into 3 bases. We are calming things down, working towards charge, working towards Archon production as well. We're getting there, but we have lost a lot of map control. We've lost a very, very valuable unit as well. And that means that Kamikaze's in the driver's seat. Is in the driver's seat, is going to be moving out. Yeah, we've got some bio, we've got a handful of tanks, and we could apply pressure to this 3rd base. On top of that, looking at the upgrades, we have not researched interference matrix, so we have auto turrets and an anti-armor missile. Auto turret can be quite valuable here to help support the army. We're going for the 3rd base. Meanwhile, Shakti getting a 4th, is expanding. We are setting up, extra warping's going to be available. Archon likewise leading the charge. Oh! Order shot's going to be thrown down, and it looks like with all of these tanks, can we break through? It looks like we can. Yeah, the Zealots fall. We're getting on top of the Colossus. Overcharge is popped. With the help of the overcharge, we can hold. Yeah, Shakti will clean this up. Shuts down both tanks. We'll even catch a 3rd tank, potentially. At the same time, we're dropping into the main. Yeah, pushing this position into an overcharge was just not the play for Kamikaze. Bled out too much. And suddenly, everything is swinging in favor of Shakti. We already popped the overcharge at the 3rd. No overcharge in the main. Yeah, running out of energy. Stalkers are going down. We're getting economic damage. 5, 6, 9 probes falling. We will force the pickup. Kamikaze getting the hell out of there. Pretty good damage, but we lost 3 tanks. Quickly checking here. Yeah, we lost 3 tanks in total. That was a hefty loss for Kamikaze. Stimming on forward. It gets a Stalker. Won't get much else. And Shakti has defended. Now Shakti's on 70 probes. He's on 4 bases, has a solid economy. The army is still lacking, but hey, we have 3 Colossus, and now we can refine, or we can support the army with these warp-ins, Archons, charge lots. Shakti's army is becoming more and more terrifying as time goes on. Meanwhile, Kamikaze bled out too much, and it feels like, yeah, it feels like our Protoss player is back in control. We are back in this. We do see Shakti just spreading out pylons throughout the map, scattering pylons throughout the map to make sure we have vision of any kind of move outs. We have adepts, we have pylons. Drop play gonna have a hard time really getting across the map as well. Speaking of, we at least have a drop towards the left hand side, no pylon to spot. Kamikaze will get in, we still have the other two medevacs in between the bases. We can dive into a mineral line. Marines, they do drop in, we catch a couple of workers, but now we got plenty of warp ins. We react in time, the drop has to load up. And Shakti does defend. Meanwhile, back at home, what are we building up towards? Looks like we have cut factory production, which is a little bit concerning. We have a lot of Marine Marauder, but no Ghosts yet. We're getting into Vikings as we speak. No, wait, my apologies. Ghost Academy is done, but no Ghosts yet with the main army. We're getting there. Kamikaze needs a little bit more time. Meanwhile, I see +1 air attack on the way, and we see why! Stargates, Fleet Beacon, Skytos is coming. Skytos is on the horizon here for Shakti. I was thinking that Shakti could most likely move out. We can reinforce, we can set up a proxy location, and we can push towards the third base, or at least deny a fourth. But no, Shakti is going to be taking a longer approach instead, a more macro approach, getting up into that Skytos. So, we spoke about, you know, this kind of more mech style that Shakti had in the past, and that's not really too applicable here, but at least approaching this game, we're sitting back. We're sitting back, we're turtling up, you know, we got vision, we got pylons, we got cannons, shield batteries. Shakti says no. He just walls up, and he's like, I'm about to max out with Skytos, right? That's my win condition. It's understandable. Meanwhile, Kamikaze sharking around, has a lot of DPS, like there's a lot of firepower in this army, has EMP potential as well. We could jump on Shakti if he moves out on the map. The problem is that we're all moving out. Like, I feel like Kamikaze's army is reliant on Shakti being active, and as he is not, it's going to be difficult to really push into these entrenched positions with all these shield batteries. Sent out missiles on the main army. The Dorito cannons have been thrown down. Raven does fall. And Shakti is vulnerable. We have the one overcharge. And one Colossus goes down, the other under fire. Charge us from behind. Oh my god, the surround. It looks like Zelt's gonna be cleaned up. The Colossus are falling one after the other. The Vikings, they shut down the Colossus. And before we can get into Skytos, can Kamikaze break Shakti? Keep going, Bob. Keep going. Send it. Oh, we don't have faith. We do pull back. I mean, we have more EMPs. We can take a fight. It scans, he thinks better of it. Backs off, Kamikaze is up in supply. And this is dangerous. I do think that we just barely missed an opportunity. I feel like we could have tried to keep pushing. Because we haven't, Skytos. Now, to be fair, Kamikaze doesn't know. I believe he didn't see the carrier, and he hasn't seen the Stargates in the main, so he doesn't know he's on a timer. He doesn't know that as he backs off, he's allowing Shakti to get into such a superior army here with carriers, with Colossus, second robos on the way. This army is becoming terrifying, and Kamikaze just doesn't know what Shakti's getting away with. It does have a fourth, getting a fifth base now. Is on the way. Shakti on 83 probes. I'm waiting for like a third and fourth robo. I'm hoping we can bring it back to 2021. Hoping we can as Kamikaze rotates around. Does hit the linear fifth. Does EMP the main army. Carriers are revealed. And Shakti, the shield batteries are not quite done, but we hold on nonetheless. Force Kamikaze back. Shaving off a couple of units. It's concave here from Kamikaze. EMPs once again connecting with the Gateway army. But here come the Colossus. Colossus have arrived. We have to produce as many Vikings as possible. 3 Vikings at a time. Could do with another starport. Yeah, there we go. 2 more starports on the way. But again, this production is delayed because we didn't know we needed it. We didn't know there was Skytos. Going for a drop instead. More carriers are amassing. Another Stargate on the way. Shakti, you can see his army supply just shoot up. And in this kind of scenario, the soup does not lie. Our EMPs are good, but again, we lost all of our Vikings. Without them, it's not just the Colossus anymore, now it's the carrier as well. Zalarambe hitting the third base. Catching Ghosts of all things. Brutal trade. Now, this shot will force a big reaction out of Shakti. He does race back home. Force the recall. We do force the recall. Army rotating over. We can focus down. Oh, maybe one of the medevacs. No, not even. All 3 medevacs will survive. We bleed out a couple of units. But again, Kamikaze, he's buying time to build up his Viking count. And it's getting higher and higher. And hey, 3-3. It's about to finish. 3-3 is on the way. Shakti hunting down those drops, doesn't find them. Shakti has maxed out, and Kamikaze still needs a couple more, like a minute or two, to reach that point, making 5 Vikings at a time. As many as possible. Meanwhile, we're still making more Colossus. The ground army has not been too neglected here by Shakti, but again, just like in the past, we're not really warping in Stalkers or Zealots. Like, we despise gateway units. Archons are the exception. And yeah, this is the army that we were looking for. It's just so beefy. With Carrier, Colossus, Immortal, Archon. It's so thick. And we'll see if Kamikaze can deal with this. I mean, with a nice spread, with some good target firing as well. We do focus down the first Colossus. But we're on the run. We're on the run. Shakti catching a couple of hits. Got big Archon shots here on the bio. EMPs do connect. Kamikaze on the back foot. Oh. Almost gets a carrier. Almost. Massive EMPs, but do we have the DPS? Do we have the firepower? There's barely any bio left on the ground. Shakti, we're breaking through. The Vikings, they attempt to focus on as much as they can. They do get a carrier. And they get a carrier, but not much else. We'll be pulling back. Charge shots coming in to reinforce. Exactly what Shakti needed. Again, these ghosts are so vulnerable on the ground. They're exposed. They're on their own. Sure, we're EMPing, but that's all we're able to do. Shakti kites back, he rebuilds interceptors. Vikings, they take down the Colossus. Stalkers are coming in. The Stalkers come in to reinforce, they catch another carrier. We're down to 4, down to 3. 3 carriers left. And at the same time, the Zealots, they hit the 3rd base. 18 SCVs go down. We catch reinforcements. Kamikaze, he's in trouble. Again, his economy is in shambles. If it wasn't for that, then maybe we could try to sustain ourselves, but Shakti, his own bases have been left untouched this entire time. It looks like Shakti has done it, even without his Sky Toss, just with a gateway-based army. The Stalkers are going down one after the other. They're not having the best trades. Charge, I'll say, ran into the planetary, not into the army. So Kamikaze is barely holding on. Takes down the carrier, but Zealots, they keep rocking up. Wave after wave of Zealots. Shakti just rallying out and does break the main army. Pushing into the planetary is going to be difficult. Gonna want to avoid that. Shakti does have to retreat. But again, like, Shakti is happily mining, is on 6 bases. He's rebuilding. Has a massive bank, and yeah, there it is. GG gets called, and Shakti will take game number 1. Whew. GG. That was a game. GG, well played. Shakti, again, just taking a more defensive approach here overall. There were a couple of moments where Shakti moved out, but for the most part, he was kind of absorbing these attacks and building up towards his carriers, towards the death bull of an army, or his death bull of an army. And Kamikaze, unfortunately, just didn't recognize what was happening. If you remember, he missed the scouts of the Sky Toss. He wasn't aware that we were transitioning into mass carrier. Because of that, the starports were delayed, the Vikings were delayed. In general, we could have been a little bit more aggressive as well if we had known that Shakti was going to be vulnerable before Sky Toss. So there's a little bit less urgency for Kamikaze. And with that, GG, well played. Shakti does take a lead, but that was merely game 1. That was only game 1, Babi. Catching up with the chat. Hello, what tournament is this? Este Gustavo. No, Kura casting, it's almost 1 AM. Ah, Smoge. Kura's not a DJ. Go, Shakti, go. Yes, good to see you, Sinistro. Good to see you, Gustavo, as well. Gustavito. Hope you're doing well. Oh. Again, it is great to be back. Again, Shakti is coming in as the favorite player, but there were moments for Kamikaze. Definitely moments. And we can soon go over the brackets. Once we wrap up this series, we can go over the bracket and try to catch up on what has been going on. We'll do our best. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have our Brazilian Terran player, the Red Terran representing Eximius Gaming, down in this series, but looking to fight back. It is Kamikaze. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brazilian Protoss. Brazilian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss. His teammates also representing Eximius Gaming, leading the series 1-0. It is Shakti. Go. As we settle in, we do have Kamikaze going for a bit of a proxy across the map. Hello, Monsieur SCV. Rax has been thrown down, and I'm curious how committed we're going to be with this. This could just be a singular proxy Rax with a proxy Reaper, and the SCV could just head behind the mineral line and go for a bunker to deny mining time just to get an economic lead, or we could try to commit a little bit harder as well. Gases have been taken back at home, and we should be looking to transition out of this at some point. Keep an eye on Kamikaze if we embrace something crazy like a Tech Lab and Proxy Marauder. Second SCV does move out. Interesting. Probe Scout does confirm that we are missing a building. That we are missing the racks. And it could be anywhere. It could be at the natural, could be at the third base, or it could be proxied across the map. There we go. It's going to be Proxy Reaper. SCV's going to be coming in. And does the probe confirm? We spot the SCV! Yeah, big scouts, but the bunker is thrown down regardless. And can we deny this bunker? Pylon has been thrown down. That's going to be for the shield battery. Second SCV has arrived just to ensure that this is going to get up and running. A little bit more committed here from Kamikaze. Usually you do not send out a second SCV. But very nice positioning here in between these mineral patches. Just cannot be attacked. And based on the RNG, oh, we get one! One SCV goes down. But the bunker should finish. The bunker should complete. Yeah, first probe going to be going down. Shield battery has been started. But again, this is all designed to deny mining time here at the natural base. To contain our opponent onto one base economy. The probe. Ooh. We do cancel shield battery. Another probe goes down. Stalker has arrived. And this shield battery should finish up. We will eventually shut down this bunker. Eventually. Now the Stalker just focusing on the bunker itself. We can try to focus down that SCV. It's going to be on Kamikaze to save that worker. Second Reaper has arrived. Shield battery is about to finish. Is done. Oh my god. Clutch moves with the SCV. Pylon under fire. Taking a lot of damage. Oh, but we bleed out a Reaper. A bit of miscontrol here from Kamikaze. Focusing across the map. Defending against the probe. Yeah, a little bit distracted. That's 4 SCVs off the mineral line. Second Stalker has arrived. SCVs are coming back. And it looks like this bunker is going to go down. Can we get the salvage? We get to kill the SCV. And can we salvage in time? The bunker is burning. Reaper's diving into the main. Yeah, there is no salvage. We shut down a Reaper. There's one left. That is going to be the kill. Oof. Yeah, rough loss there for Kamikaze. And looking at the trades here, we got 3 probes. Not bad. 3 probes, but we also killed 3 SCVs. Killed another Reaper. And again, there was a lot of lost mine time back at home. Now we're transitioning into a CC, into a Rax. But it does feel like Kamikaze was maybe a little bit too fixated on his micro and his macro slit. Does feel like his macro was a little bit delayed back at home. And Kamikaze going to try to recover. Getting into his 3-rack setup. 1 floating back, 2 more on the way. Stalkers are moving out. And there is a tank in production. We should have enough to hold on. It's going to be close. Tank is halfway done. Cyclone is out. Oh, Stalkers, they will deny the bunker. Bunker's going to be cancelled. Oh, can we cancel? We do. Thankfully. We cancel the bunker. We get a Reaper. Kamikaze will attempt to break out. We'll attempt to break out, and it looks like we get a couple of free shots off. Cyclone can get a Stalker. Nice control out of Shakti. Does pull away. Breaks the lock on. And Shakti does reinforce. He wants to go for the kill. Can we go for the tank? Ooh. Deny the bunker. Once again. The tank stands strong. Blink is almost done. Behind this, again, it was a Blink-based opener. Only 2 gateways, so 2-gate Blink into a 3rd. Shakti is not going all in. He's expanding, he's focusing on his economy. But we dive on the tank. A bold move out of Shakti. He will get 1 tank, but this was not worth it. We bleed out so many Stalkers. That was 5 Stalkers for 1 tank. Oof. Not a worthwhile trade here for Shakti. He overextends, bleeds out a 6th Stalker as well. Papi, calm down. Ay, ay, ay. Shakti taking a lot of damage, and with that, he now loses map control. I mean, he's got a couple of Stalkers here outside the natural base, but we have taken a lot of damage already. Ay, ay, ay. Behind this, working toward charge, gateway explosion, 3rd base getting up and running. We're not taking our extra gas here at the natural. But thanks to those trades, Kamikaze's not looking too bad. He's, you know, hunkering down. We've got tanks, we've got bunkers, we've got SCVs to repair. Stim is on the way. It's going to take a while for Kamikaze to push out, but because we lost so many Stalkers, by the time we do move out, there's going to be that much left to defend. It's going to be that much less. Kamikaze does have an opportunity here. Shakti attempting to reinforce. Going down shield batteries. Still probing up. Working towards that charge. As we build up towards 3 tanks already. That's a lot of tanks, Papi. That's a lot of tanks. The eventual move out will hit like a truck. We'll see if we commit and even double down and go for like an SCV pool and go for a 2-base all-in. I am curious. We have started the starport. The starport is a sign that we're taking up a little bit further and working towards medevac production. Yeah, another rack's on the way. Oh, as Shakti takes a 4th base already. A bold move out of Shakti. Bold move. The 4th is in production. Likewise, Shakti getting to Immortal production as well. I believe we've been skipping some warp-ins just to afford the 4th base. So Shakti being a little bit greedy. Setting up pylons for job play. Speaking of, I believe medevac should be soon in production. Yes, there's that reactor. And there's that 3rd CC, so we are not going for a 2-base all-in. I mentioned before, when we saw the starport, it was like, okay, it's our first sign here of progression. Kamikaze could still try to move out, though, and try and deny the 4th. If only he knew. Kamikaze has been in the dark, hasn't seen too much. We can see that there's no splash damage for Shakti, so I actually favor Kamikaze's army. Observer gets caught. But yeah, in a head-on fight, I feel like Kamikaze can take it. The overcharge could be the game changer. Likewise, so could force fields. But without Colossus, without Storm, this mass bio can do quite well. Stalkers are forced back. 3rd base soon to be taken. Kamikaze still setting up. We do see Shakti moving out. And the tanks do siege. Behind the rugs. Pushing up this ramp is going to be difficult. And Shakti doesn't know. Okay, rotating over towards the right-hand side. Bit of an easier angle of approach. So a lot of Marines, so a lot of Bio. We stim on forward. Oh. Stim gets baited out. Widowmines are behind the army as well. Kamikaze going for a drop, and we're pushing in. No, the siege. Now is not the time. Not the best time here to one siege. We can collapse on the tanks. No medevacs. Can we lift? Okay, we lift up 2 tanks. Thankfully, 2 tanks are saved, and okay, Shakti pulls back. That's still a lot of Marines. That's a lot of DPS. Shakti looking to hunt down those tanks. At the same time, big warp in into the main base. SCVs are going down. And we don't quite catch the tanks in the end. They do get away, but another big warp in. 18 SCVs go down. We deny the 3rd base. Shakti doesn't catch the main army, but still a solid trade. Shakti pulls away with the Prism, pulls away with the main army. We're on 4 bases. And we can rebuild, we can remax. Temple Archives is done. No Storm. So just relying on Archons, Immortals, and Chargelots. This army of Shakti still feels really fragile, but we have time, we have resources. Shakti pulls back, and now Kamikaze has to make a choice. What do we have? 34 SCVs. Like, we barely have an economy. And we were denied the 3rd. I feel like we need to pull the boy. Yeah, let's go, heaters. We have to pull the boys. There's no other way about this. We're completely all in. The tank's on siege, and we're sending everything across the map. Prism is shut down. The move out is unscattered. This is the one scary thing for Shakti. He doesn't have an observer. No observer. He doesn't spot the move out. Does have a zealot on the right hand side. He spots the SCVs. He knows. The boys have been spotted. Army's getting in position. We have plenty of shield batteries at both locations. 4 shield batteries at the 4th and at the 3rd. We're ready. But we do have 3 tanks. Here we go. We dive on in. Tanks late to siege. Oh, we're getting on top of the army. Overcharges popped. Not really helping too much, but there we go. We do pull back. Zealots got annihilated. And the tanks, they just have massive volleys on the main army. Can we get on top of them? It looks like the army's overstimmed. We break through the Marines. We get on top of the tanks, and it looks like Shakti will survive. GG gets called. Shakti takes the series 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Congratulations to Shakti as he will claim the series. There was a couple of tense moments where Shakti did bleed out too many Stalkers, and I was afraid he was too vulnerable at times. I feel like we missed an opportunity, maybe even pushing into the 3rd, but at the same time, we also warped into the main at the same time, and yeah, Shakti was able to pull Kamikaze apart, force the all-in, was able to defend beautifully, and yeah, just a really solid setup there from our Protoss player. GG, congratulations to Shakti. My condolences to Kamikaze. It wasn't a bad series by any means. He was holding his own for quite some time against Shakti. I would not say that there was like a big skill gap between them or anything like that. But Shakti does take it, and Kamikaze will bow out. GG, well played. GG, well played. With that, Shakti advances on into the next round. And who is waiting for him into that next round? Let's hop on over and have a look at the brackets. Let's hop on over here as... Oh, I do have to set that up. One moment. But he does have an opponent. Exclamation mark B in the chat if you guys want to have a look at the back yourselves. Ooh, we have a lot of updates coming in, and we have an opponent. Okay, so from the top... Actually, I can move this over a little bit. From the top, there were a couple of walkovers. Unfortunately, a couple of walkovers here and there. We had Method getting the walkover over Felipe. Now up against Eric. Shout out to Eric, by the way. The CranKy Duckling himself is going to be competing in the upper half of the bracket, and we will eventually catch up with Eric. We'll get there. We'll get there. But Eric up against Method in the round of 16. Likewise, we have Victor. Victor has taken down his opponent in the round 16 as well, advancing on to face off against the winner of Eric and Method. Victor took down 1903 Kid. We do have Dakon. He 2-0'd MZF, and also got a walkover over Yan. He got a walkover over Yan, which was a bit of a shame. I'm a big fan of Yan G. That's Yan 12. Yan XII. Looks like Yen wasn't here. Yen is a very young up-and-coming player, or at least he was a young up-and-coming player. When we casted him back in the day, he was 16 years old. Now I think he's like 19 maybe. You know, he's growing up. And unfortunately not here tonight. Would have been amazing to have seen him But Dakon does get the walkover, and that means we have our next series in the round of 8. Shakti versus Dakon. And we will get that series set up. I believe he's on Team Host Masters, if I recall correctly. I always forget which logo is their main team and which logo is their academy team. But it's going to be, I believe, another PvT. If I remember correctly, Dakon is a Terran player, if I remember. Scrolling down, we have Master versus Allison. Oh, I believe that's a PvZ. I think Allison's a Zerg player or a Protoss. God, it's been so long since I've casted these players, since I've casted Allison. I'll look it up. Allison, Brazilian Protoss. There you go, there you go. Is a Brazilian Protoss player. So there's a PvP going on there. Honestly, I think that's actually a really spicy PvP. Master is the strongest Protoss player in all of Brazil. For a long time, it was Nano, or I keep calling Shakti now. For a long time, it was Shakti. Shakti was the best Protoss in all of Brazil. But towards the later years, I'm referring to 2022, around 2022 into 2023, Master did overtake Shakti, and I would even say that Master became the best Protoss in all of Latin America. That was a title that Paco Mike had, the Mexican Protoss. Paco Mike, he had that title for a while. Darkness vied for that title. He's the Chilean Protoss player for a while as well, when Darkness came back to the game. I miss Darkness so much. Like, I was a massive Darkness fan. Diego. I miss Darkness so much, and I mean, he's still active on Twitter. I think he was tweeting about Stormgate. I think he was tweeting, and making a lot of content as well back in the day. But yeah, Paco Mike, he was the best Protoss, and nowadays, you know, Paco Mike retired. He still pops up. I don't know if you've seen in the chat, but every now and then he shows up in Twitch chat, and he's like, Papi, and I'm like, ah, Papi. Paco Mike does he's a great guy. It's a great guy from Mexico. But yeah, nowadays I would say it's Master. Nowadays I would say that Master has the title of best Protoss in Latin America, and he's the one to beat. I do think that Allison can pose a threat to Master, so that's why I'm saying that's a really solid PvP going on there. And we'll see if anyone can stop Master from making it to the finals. Typically in these tournaments, it's Master and Eric. You know, Master is the best Protoss in Latin America. Eric is one of the best Zergs in Latin America. I would say one of the best. It's hard to judge Eric and Cham at the moment, just because both Eric and Cham are not the most active of players. They're both, in their heyday, in their prime, they're both amazing. But nowadays, again, they're a little bit less active. They are a little bit less active. So it is hard to say, but yeah, typically it is a Master and Eric as the top 2 in these tournaments, but you know, there's a lot of contenders like Allison, like Shakti, like Dokkan, like Victor as well. I would have said Yen is another contender. Oh. So we are catching up. But yeah, we are just setting up our vetoes as we speak. Dokkan and Shakti, they're just undergoing their vetoes and setting up. I'm just speaking with Cosmos. Shout out to Cosmos, by the way. Cosmos, he is the Brazilian caster and a big part of the Brazilian scene, propping it up on his shoulders, on his back. Cosmos is, it sounds like Cosmos is going to be covering the lower semifinals and we'll cover the upper semis. He was just letting us know that he was going to be jumping on Masters matches later on, and we'll be following Shakti versus Dakon into Eric. That's going to be the plan. Assuming that Eric makes it that far, but again, Eric is a heavy favorite to make a deep run. Heavy favorite. Catching up. Oh. Sorry, I just saw in the chat someone posted, "Hey mate, FYI, we have a national ranking called SE2BR. Auditions of code for Giants Cup and I'm at the StarCraft, give points to this ranking. You want to see the historic of some players like win rate or something like that, feel free. Oh god, sorry, we do have the auto mod for full links, but I will post that. I will post that. Gracias, papi, gracias. Obrigado, obrigado. Thank you so much. We do appreciate it. Obrigado, obrigado. And I do apologize that you got auto timed out. But thank you so much. When it comes to other Brazilian players that haven't been here in a while, I mean, obviously Terran, right? There's Terran, who has since retired. He was a Brazilian Terran player. Kelazar, he, I believe, is not in the same time zone as a lot of these Brazilian players anymore. I know Kelazar spent a lot of time in Europe. Would be great to see maybe a reappearance of Kelazar. What are some other Brazilian players that I can't quite remember? There was Master, there was Terran, there was Yenji, Eric, of course. I'm sure there were more. There were more Protoss players. Oh my god. Oh god, I'm trying to remember. There was Rangel, who we casted previously. I'm thinking of Mimeron. That's it. I'm thinking of Mimeron. He was another Protoss player that was up and coming. I miss him. Like, I was trying to remember his name, and as you can imagine, if you're familiar with World of Warcraft, Mimeron is like a floating mechanical head in World of Warcraft, and that's what I was thinking. I was like, what's his name? What's his name? Oh, that's it. Those are Protoss player named after that. After Mimeron. Brazilian Protoss. Good times, good times. But yeah, it's really cool to see that Cosmos and many others have kind of come together and brought us, you know, an exclusively Brazilian tournament. I would love to see something similar for Latin America, or for Latin America as a whole. But yet to be determined. It's been a while since we've had Sentimiento Latino. I don't know if a lot of interest is there for it. I would love to see it. You know, shout out to Darking. You know, maybe we can make something happen there. Bring it all the way back. Give all these players something to compete for. We'll see. We'll see. Time will tell. I know that Cosmos has plans to make this a little bit bigger, and grow this event. But we might just go on a short break. Here, just because we're still waiting for vetoes to complete and the lobby to be made between Dakon and Shakti. So we might just go on a short break here, and then we'll jump on this. Then we'll continue. So until then, yeah, we're just going to be going on a short break. We'll be back soon with some more Brazilian StarCraft. Again, currently the plan is to cast Shakti versus Dakon. That's going to lead into the upper semifinals. We're going to be following the winner into Eric, and then follow that into the finals. We might be able to catch Eric versus Victor in the upper half of the bracket as well. We'll cast as much as we can. As much as we can. As much as we can. Till then, see you soon.
Should we go in Spanish this one?
Do it.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
Alright, I don't know if I can do this. Alright, let's try. Aquí, en esta esquina de la mapa, es un Terran player. Es rojo, es rojo. Y a la izquierda.
Ooh.
I don't know my directions perfectly, but I believe it's izquierda.
Yeah.
A la izquierda, este jugador es verde y es un Terran y es el final map. Si puede ganar, yo creo. Es Boga.
¿Y juntos qué son?
Y juntos son los antimancos. We did it.
That was better than what I could have done.
It was better than what I expected.
En el en el derecho izquierda, derecho. Aquí en la mapa, en la esquina tenemos el azul Terran, tenemos Marea y su what's teammate? Su compadre, su amigo, su enamorada, no sé qué es, pero aquí tenemos el Protoss, es azul, es Derki y juntos son el equipo, los lamas.
Los llamas. How do you say llama in Spanish?
Llama, yeah, maybe.
Right? Just llama?
Yeah.
I don't know either. I completely skipped trying to go for north or south. That was going to be an impossible one for me.
And coming alive from the Plaga de Cuto Beach on the Isles of Pine, from the Lagoy part of Bintan Island, from Karagandi in Kazakhstan. We are here with the 29th edition of ESL Pro Tour Open Cup Asia Division. I am your host, Yaku of the Zaku, and with me today I have La Pastora, que es allergica a la pasta. El jugador del bolos con todos los cajolers. Wait. I have El Narado que saca todos los caimanes himself, Light_VIP. How are you doing, Light?
What's up, Yaku? Good. The entire time I was like, why can't I add you? Like, I'm looking for you in the list, and this fucking guy.
Well, here we are in our. Oh my God! It's not a ZVZ.
Oh God.
Dios mío, gracias. We have our Red Zerg player from DHZ.
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that lovely duct tape from times gone by. I felt like it was fitting. I felt like it was fitting to have a duct tape from back in the day with our Latin American events and all the Spanish intros as well. Good times. Good. For those that don't know, we used to have a point redemption. There used to be a point redemption in the chat for Spanish intros, and people would redeem, and then we'd come in with the Spanish intro. It's been a while since we've done anything like that. The reason for that is because it's been a while since we've casted a Latin American tournament, which would be, fitting. But here we go. We're diving into our next series. Vetoes are done, lobby is made, and we're jumping into game one. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ghost River, we have our Red Zerg player from land of Brazil representing Team Hellfire. It is Ducklings. I thought it was Hostmasters. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Protoss representing Eximius Gaming. It is Shaq T. I will just update Dakon's team. I got you. Make sure that it does is correct. Team Hellfire. Oh, we'll figure it out. It's not showing up for some reason. We'll find it. Regardless, we are jumping into our next series, into our PVZ. Dako, my apologies. I assumed it was a Terran player, but is a Zerg player instead. Whew, pleasant surprise as we're entering our Hatchcast pool standard opener out of out of our Zerg player. Likewise, Shakti back at home, going for a gate expand into Cybercore. Everything looking as it should for the time being. We'll keep an eye on the tech of choice. Again, it's been years. It's been so long since I've casted Shakti. Let me actually just double check here. When was the last time we casted Shakti? I'm sure it would have been like something like 2022 or even 2021, many years ago. So I'm curious how Shakti has adjusted and adapted to modern StarCraft and how up to date we are as well. Just checking our YouTube channel. Okay, last time we casted Shakti was Sentimiento Latino 122, Shakti versus Eon. This was in February 15th, 2022. This was over 2 years ago. That's crazy. That's wild. It's been over 2 years and now we're able to jump on Shakti once again. Feels good, man. Feels good. But I'm looking at all these old names. The Zerg Lord? Oh my, I can't believe I forgot to mention the Zerg Lord. The Zerg Lord is in this tournament, of course. Ryu as well, Davito, Chem. Good times, good times. Turkey Dano, I can't forget Turkey Dano. Right, that's when we casted Executor. Executor was a big Brazilian tournament that we casted. That was back in 2021. I'm unironically getting nostalgic looking at all this. The nostalgia. I'll show it off later. For now, we're settling in. It's going to be, a Twilight Council opening into Glaze. My apologies. I was just looking at our YouTube channel. At all these old VODs. But yeah, here we go. It's going to be Glaive Adepts. 4-gate Glaives from our Protoss player. So hyper aggressive here from Shakti. Now, this is not an all-in. We pulled out of gas. It's not going to be an all-in. We should be working towards a third base thereafter and looking at macro out of this. But this is a way to get ahead economically to deal some crippling damage to Dakon. We'll see if Dakon can keep up as he is going for his own Roach Rush. Okay, aggression versus aggression, all in versus an aggressive build from Shakti. But Roaches are amassing, Lings are flooding out as well. Who do I favor here? I mean, Adepts don't trade well against Roaches, true, but we may be able to overwhelm this army with additional Adepts. As Shakti does have the better economy, Dakon cutting workers at 25. It's all or nothing for our Zerg. It's all or nothing, Shakti. We need units. We need Adepts here and now. The Roaches are revealed. We have to get the hell out of here. We shade back home. We try to. So far, shaving off Lings. Ravagers are revealed. We shade over towards the left-hand side. And back here at the natural base. Shield batteries are not ready. We're not ready, Papi. We're knocking down the front door. Stalker goes down. We bust into the natural. There's almost nothing here. We can focus down the pylon. We depower the gateways. And Epstein coming in from behind. They do catch reinforcements, but they may just be too much. Roaches are slowly breaking through. We have, what, 5 Roaches left, 2 Ravagers, rallying Lings. We should be, Dakon, not making anything. We're not supply block. We have minerals. We need to flood Lings. The boys are being pulled. Immortal has arrived, and with the help of this Immortal, we can clean this up. We can clean this up. Again, these Lings, they're late. 18 Lings on the way. Dakon, we could have done this. And we're shutting this down. The Ravagers are falling. The Roaches as well. Shakti does survive. Dakon, his macro was slipping. For so long there, he just wasn't making anything and he wasn't supply blocked. He had the money. But he was just hyper fixated on killing Shakti, and that may have just been the biggest mistake here. We had so much potential. Things were going well. They were going well for our Zerg player. As a Prism is forced to back off. The Lings, they get on top of the third. We can at least deny the third base. We can force a cancel. The Nexus is cancelled. We rock up at the natural where Immortals are amassing. We have 3 Immortals already. We're stuck on 2 bases, but remember, Dakon has 28 drones. He barely has an economy. Now we're droning, but we're in a rough position. If we're given time, we can recover, right? Like, if Shakti stays back at home, if he turtles up, then Dakon can try to recover. But really, he's relying on Shakti to leave him alone. And we should be pushing out soon. Shakti, we're building up towards 4 Immortals, Sentries, Adepts. Shakti is pulling back. Prism coming back home. Adepts trading well. Cleaning up so many of these lings. And back at home, Dakon is just droning up as best as possible, as much as he can. And that means that we don't have an army. I mean, this is the kind of game state that we have with a failed all-in, is that we're just not really set up for a longer game. And here comes the push. Shakti now breaking out, breaking free with 4 Immortals, Mass Glaive Adepts, Sentries for Force Fields, we have the Prism to reinforce. Shakti has too much. And what do we have to defend? We have 6 Ravagers. 0 Lings, 0 Roaches. 10 Roaches are on the way. We need time, Papi. We need time. The Miles! Oh, they do graze the army. But we focus on every single Ravager. We lock them down with a Force Field. Very nicely done here by Shakti. And now we stutter step forward. We go for the kill. Shakti, what does he have left, Papi? Not much. 3 Ravagers on the way. Boys are being pulled into Glaive Adepts. You hate to see it. Not like this. The Miles, they take down the Prism. The Prism at least goes down. But so does everything for the Zerg. GG gets called and Shakti takes game number 1. Whew. GG. A solid response from Shakti, but again, Dakon was so close to breaking Shakti. He had busted into the natural base, he had broken in, was killing workers, was shutting down adepts, but was not making any units. The larva production was non-existent. We had the money, we had the supply, we had the larva. But Dakon was tunnel visioning a lot, fixated on the main army control, and as a result, Shakti somehow survived. GG, Shakti takes a lead. Dakon is up against the wall. Can we bounce back here in game 2? I hope so. I'm hoping we can. Also, I'm catching up with the chat. I'm in the hospital with my parents and a newborn trying to keep quiet, and you play that Spanish chaos. Come on, man. No fair play. Could hardly keep it together. Oh my god, that was a highlight reel, basically. A highlight reel, a duct tape of years gone by. Good times, good times. So basically how things would go with those Spanish intros is usually we would have a Spanish intro for like the finals or the semifinals, and we would have a break, and during that break, Yaku, his brain would like piece together something, some kind of introduction for a player, and he'd put it in Google Translate. He'd do his best to emulate it. Yaku's Spanish intros were always amazing. Back then, I also cast with Milk and Cookies. Milk and Cookies, I haven't casted, or he hasn't casted in a very long time, but he's a good friend, and he drops by the stream every now and then. Milk and Cookies. Milk and Cookies, he was the guy that was like, he was the guy saying like, it's not a ZVZ. Dios mío, gracias. That was Milk. That was Milk. He actually knows some Spanish. He actually knows them, because as a kid he grew up with a Latin American house, or not quite in a Latin American household, but with some Latin American friends. But here we go, we're diving into game number 2, and spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Goldenor, we have our Brazilian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Eximius Gaming, leading the series 1-0. It is Shakti. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent going for, a 15-15. The Brazilian Zerg representing Team Hellfire. It is Dakon. Also, sorry, partner, not parent. my apologies. Partner and a newborn. Oh, congratulations. True. Congratulations, Papi. You're a Papi. Congrats. Nice to hear. So we are settling in. Again, it's going to be 15 hatchery into 15 spawning pool. Standard opener or safe opener out of Dakon. This time, not going for any kind of crazy cheese. Not yet. Likewise, Shakti confirms with the probe scouts, and we'll settle into a gate expand. Oh, okay. Gate cyber expand here out of Shakti. Interesting. I'm misreading this a little bit. Shakti does confirm the later hatchery, but assumes it's for aggression. Oh, wait. We took extra gas. Okay, no, we're good, we're good. We took earlier gases. And it was a 15 spawning pool first into a delayed hatchery. Okay. Not a misread. I misread. My apologies. It was a 15-15, but with the pool first. Lings have arrived. Zella comes out. We do fully wall off. So my apologies. Much more aggressive opener here out of Dakon. Oh, going for the pylon. The Zella dancing with the army. And the pylon is going to be going down. And with that, we can get us around. We have to pull the boys. I feel like we have to pull some workers here. Otherwise, this Zella on its own, it cannot hold its own. We avoid the Zella. We go for the probe. Adept does arrive just in time. Whew. We have the Adept. We get one probe kill. And Shakti needs to minimize losses, needs to preserve those probes. Does pull away. Does pull away in time. And it looks like Shakti has defended. So again, my apologies. It was a pull first variation. I just completely missed that. So it was pull first. So Shakti did respond well, going for the Zealot, delaying his expansion. And now Shakti can settle into his game. And this wasn't quite worth it for Dakon. Looking at the trades, we got 2 probes. Oh, we got the pylon. We got the pylon. That's an okay trade. Killing a pylon, killing 2 workers. Back at home, we're settling into queen production. We are settling in. And we'll see if Dakon can survive the Adept aggression. As link speed is almost done. And we do have 10 lings in production. Shakti moving out with Adepts. Again, 2 Adepts do one-shot drones. And we don't quite commit. Not yet. We don't quite shade in. Shaving off more lings. Good sidestepping here by Shakti. Gets on the 3rd. And we'll pull back behind the Stargate opener into Oracle, followed by a very fast Twilight Council. Now, this is a Twilight Council before the 3rd base. This should be for something like Glaive Adepts or maybe Fast Blink. Regardless, aggression is on the table here for Shakti. Going for something like Glaives will make a lot of sense here to try to catch Dakon while he's droning and catch him off guard. Lings, they dive on top of the probe. They shut it down. You shut down the probe. Oracle moving out across the map. Headed for the base, headed for the mineral lines. Queens should be in position, but we don't have many. We don't have many queens. We don't have a spore. And no spores. Only 1 queen per base. And drones are going down. 3 worker kills already. Not a bad start. And there it is. Glaives is indeed the follow-up. And this is designed to catch the Zerg player droning, as I mentioned before. If Dakon is too greedy, if we don't throw down a safety Roach Warren, which we are. Roach Warren is halfway done at this point. So we're getting ready with Roach production, thankfully. So Dakon has the tools to defend, but it's all about scouting and confirming that we actually have to make Roaches. Otherwise, we should just be droning. As another Oracle rocks up. 3 more drones go down. 4 more drones. Shakti getting far too much done here. Aye. It's going to be 7 drone kills in total for that Oracle. Gateways are finishing up. 2 gateways in the main and 2 gateways here at the natural. 4 gates at Glaives. The Adepts are banking up here at the natural base. Now, the upside for Dakon is that there is no prism. Like, there's no robo, so there's no warp prism. So there's no way to reinforce across the map. But we don't need to. Like, we have plenty of Adepts anyway, and we do scout this, we do confirm. We're still droning! No! Dakon! He missed it! He missed the Adepts, and what is our army looking like? Looking at the units tab, we have 2 lings. This is the army. 2 lings and 4 queens. Oh boy. Roach production has just begun. Dakon, he's caught with his pants down. He's not ready for this. The queen gets targeted. 1 queen falls. We can get a 2nd queen as well. We can even get a 3rd. And as the queens fall, there's nothing to protect the mineral lines. Yeah, Adepts, they do bust in. Drones are going down left and right. Dakon just unprepared. Roaches are filing in, but 1 at a time they can be targeted as well. Aye. Yeah, 6 drone kills so far. We can get even more shading in towards the natural base. We come into the shade. 12 drone kills. The drones know now is not the time. They didn't rally over. I mean, the roaches will eventually clean this up, eventually. But they've already done enough. 13 drone kills. 0 mining at the third. Spore Crawler goes down. We got a Void Ray on the way to survive the counterattack. And Dakon is down to 45 workers. We could have gotten a little bit more, but regardless, Shakti has done enough. Behind this, we're up to 65. Third base up and running. We have a wall of cannons and shield batteries on the way. We're ready for the counterattack. We're ready for the push. And nothing is going to break this. Nothing anytime soon. Now, Shakti is lacking much of an army. True, but I mean, that's why we have site defense, right? That's why we have the overcharge, the cannons. That's why we have the Void Ray as well. As the Void Ray is out. Dakon trying to get into Roach Hydra. Rushing into Lurker Tech on 2 bases. Bold move. I mean, we're just now saturating the third. It's droning up once again. We could be a little bit more active with the Void Ray. As we could be hunting down Overlords. There's limited anti-air. Say that Hydras are on the way. The Oracle does scout, does confirm the Lurkers and behind the mineral line. Oracle does fall. But Shakti is aware. Is now aware of what's going on. And with the arrival of this War Prism, Shakti should be pushing. We should soon move out. How many gateways are we on? Only 6. Okay, there we go. 2 more on the way, so 8 gates. That's a solid setup here on 3 bases. As we're waiting for another wave of reinforcements. And the Warpin is available. So you have the Warpin. Dakon racing back. Getting into Hydras, true. The problem here is that, again, we've had to spend so much time droning, and we're still not at an ideal worker count. We're still sub 3 base economy. The mineral line isn't even saturated. And we are pushing, but yeah, we can't really accomplish too much with this army. I appreciate that we pull back. We're pulling back. We kind of fake out and move out. Stuart's on the way. And the problem is that Shakti doesn't have to fake anything. Like, we can just push. We can A move, Papi. Can just A move. Storm is on the way. Additional gateways. Second Robo. More Zealots warping in. The Lunkers will soon arrive. Can we pull off a miracle defense with 8 Lunkers? Potentially. Do we have detection? Ooh, no Observer. Observer just now on the way. Dakon, can we pull this off? Roaches are amassing Hydras. We're droning up to a respectable drone count with 71. We have a wall of Lurkers up here on the 3rd base. If Shakti is unaware, if he walks into this by accident, Shakti could lose everything. Okay, but has since waited for the Observer. Got the 1 Observer. Hive is on the way for Viper Tech. Storm is done. Same time, Zelarama on the right-hand side. Army is distracted. These Lurkers are looking exposed. We could break through this. Rotating around. Dakon trying to keep up. Lurkers do borrow. They do get in position. And Shakti doesn't commit. Oof. Now we turn on a Storm. We do back off. Does respect the Lurker, and we're going for Skytoss. Okay. Dakon has done it. We've turtled up. We rush into Lurkers. Shakti, he fears the Lurker, clearly. He backs off. He retreats. And Shakti's going to be maxing out with Skytoss. 2 more Stargates, Fleet Beacon on the way. But Dakon does not see any army movement. Has a handful of Lurkers in position, but again, we can work our way through this. Like, Shakti can push in. Prism is denied. Shakti not really feeling too confident. Waiting for his upgrade. Spire is on the way. And is Shakti giving Dakon too much time? I think he is. Nice revelation here on the lurkers. We're pushing in. Storms are going to be huge here. Yeah, storms on the Hydras. They graze the army. We're breaking through nonetheless. Stealth from behind. And there's just not enough here. Yeah, only 5 lurkers. 1 lurker left. We don't have detection. Viper's coming in. Observer not with the main army. That 1 lurker puts some damage on the army, but it looks like we break through the base. Nonetheless, Hatchery goes down. Yeah, and our Zerg player just doesn't have enough here to hold on. It was just a rough start here. The initial Glaive Adept push crippled the economy of Dakon, and Dakon barely was not able to recover. Almost did, but still just too far behind. The army pushes forward. Shakti still has enough to just brute force his way on top of these lurkers. Is thinking about it. Did we lose the observer? We did. I was like, what happened to the observers? Looks like they went down. We're down to 3 lurkers, down to 2. 2 lurkers left. The revelation. Once again, Shakti rotating around. 3 carriers on the way. Oh, massive storm on the roads. Oh my, the storms! Oh my god. Insane storms on the army. The hatchery will go down. We're down to 2 bases. We're down to 4 lurkers. No detection. The lurkers, they barely hold the line. But again, what are we really protecting at this point? We get the revelation up. There's 1 lurker left. There's 0. That's it. That's all we had. Corruptors, they come in a moment of desperation to go for the carriers. They can maybe get 1. Nah, not even. The carrier will survive. GG gets called, and Shakti will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the semi-finals. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Shakti for taking the series. Shout out to Dakon. Again, game 1 was very close. Game 1, for those who weren't here, was on Ghost River, and he went for an all-in. He went for a Roach Ravager Ling all-in, went for a rush on like 25 drones, and he almost broke Shakti then and there. He almost took the game. Here in game 2, it was just unfortunate that he had no vision on the Glaive Adepts, and they wreaked havoc. They got out of hand. They got out of control, and in the end, Shakti took a massive lead from there. And now we're getting ready for our next series. We're getting ready for the semifinals. It looks like our players are ready! Exclamation mark B in the chat. I think I spoiled you a little bit there, but we have our 2 semifinalists. Let's go. Let us go. Scrolling up, we have some catching up to do. Eric, he took down Method 2-0. Eric took down Victor 2-0 as well. And Eric has been patiently waiting in those semifinals for the winner of this series. So those who don't know, who is Eric? What is Eric? Eric is endurance, righteousness, intellect, and kangaroo. The F in Eric stands for fear. He's beautiful. Eric, he is a CranKy Duckling. He's one of our own. He does represent the CranKy Ducklings. He is one of my many kids, Kappa. Yeah, we got a lot of love for Eric here. We're going to be featuring him here on the channel. Likewise, lower semifinals are getting ready. We have Master taking down Kubos 2-0. Master took down Allison 2-0 as well. And Master is lying in wait to face off against Inexorable or Novice in the semifinals. Oh boy. So again, Cosmos is going to be covering the lower semifinals. We will cover the upper semifinals. That is the plan. That is the plan. Again, Eric, he, just for some context, when Stormgate came out, when it came out in the beta, and in the open weekend, for example, Eric, he's been grinding a lot of Stormgate and other RTSs, but recently came back. Recently has been competing again in events like this, because we now have Brazilian tournaments, because this event has been happening for now 5 editions. Eric has now, you know, something more to compete in, something more to strive to improve in, and Eric has been active again. You know, he's back, he's been active again, he's been improving, and I'm happy to see Eric once again laddering and practicing and playing. He's an amazing player, and I'm here for him. Now, Eric is, I don't know if I would even say he's the favorite here. I mean, he's the best Zerg player in Brazil, 100%. But he has shown weakness to Protoss. He has shown weakness, and Eric is also a very unique player. He's very unorthodox. He is, yeah, he comes up with his own builds, and it looks amazing. Like, we've seen Eric clown on Dark, for example, week after week in ESL Americas. Eric, he has amazing ZVZ, but ZVP, he has his own approach, and I'm excited to see what Eric has been cooking. What's he been cooking, man? What has he been cooking? Let's go. Yo, I see some Eximius supporters in the chat. Let's go. Hello, Matrix. Hello. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Fala, galera. Here we go, jumping into the semifinals. Shakti has been mowing down his opponents left and right, has yet to drop a map, so has Eric. And now they both face off against each other in our next series. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the one, we have the only. What does he stand for? The Brazilian Zerg player representing the CranKy Ducklings. What does Eric mean? Oh, I just said his name. Endurance, righteousness, intellect, and kangaroo. It is Eric. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Eximius Gaming. It is Shakti. Feels like it's 2021 all over again. It's crazy. And here we go, Eric moving out with his initial drone, and we're going for a proxy. Because of course we are. Again, Eric is a very unorthodox player. He comes up with his own builds. He's very aggressive, very cheesy. He can macro, don't get me wrong, he can macro, but he prefers not to. Especially against Protoss. Does prefer not to. And with that, the hatchery is on the way. Shakti is unaware, going out with his probe scouts. And will confirm the lack of hatchery, will confirm the faster spawning pool. We're slowly piecing this together. I say that. And Shakti, he believes he's going to be blocking a hatchery that's across the map. Uh-oh. Okay, there we go. We go into the main. Very important here. We go into the main base. There are no gases, and the spawning pool is already on the way. This is a tell. And back at home, we're going for the gate expand. We delay the cyber core. Ooh, I'm a little bit concerned. Once again, Shakti confirming there is no hatchery. Now he knows. Now he's aware. Remember, last game when he responded to the earlier spawning pool, we did react with a faster cyber core. This time it's delayed. And now the spine crawlers are on the way. Spine crawlers are in production. We do have at least our initial zealots, but the stalker or adept follow-up is going to be a little bit later than it otherwise should. We responded with a forge, cannons. Good response here from Shakti. Cannon's going to be on the way. Ling's already rocking up. They do pull back the zealot spine crawlers. They should finish. They should complete. Eric's so creative. He is very creative. That's a better way to put it. 100%. And here we go. The spine crawlers are slowly pushing forward, getting within range of the pylon, of the wall. Zealot under fire. Shield battery is not done. And the Zealot will go down. Yeah, big pick off. The Stalker taking a lot of hits. The shield battery, it looks like it will just barely finish in time. We'll keep the Stalker alive, but GG gets called. We break the wall, and Eric will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Again, it just took a little bit too long for Shakti to piece together what was happening. Remember, he delayed his Cybercore. His reaction was delayed in general. He believed that Eric was going to be expanding, but we at least knew that he was not. And again, it just took a little bit too long to realize what was going on. Every second does count here in StarCraft. And with that, Eric is now 1 game away from making it to the Grand Finals. Uno más, papi. 1 more is all he needs. Meanwhile, it looks like the lower semifinals is about to begin. I believe Cosmos is jumping on Master versus Inexorable, so best of luck. Best of luck in those lower semis. Again, both semifinals are happening at the same time, and then we'll meet up in the grand finals. In this series, it looks like it's going to be a fast one. It's turning out like a fast series here. I'm hoping for a back and forth. I'm hoping for an ace match, or I'm hoping we can sink our teeth into this a little bit more. We'll see. We shall see. As we're loading in to Golden Aura. Are loading in. And after this series, I'll show off some of these old matches. God. I remember when Jim Rising, you know, before he left us to League of Legends. Feels high, man. Feels Jim Rising, man. Ah. So many series. But here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Golden Aura, we have our Brazilian Zerg player. He is one of the CranKy Ducklings, the Blue Zerg. Leading the series 1-0, one game away from making it into the grand finals. It is Eric. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the red Protoss, representing Eximius Gaming down in this series. Can he bounce back? It is Shakti. It's a 13-12. It's a 13-12 here from Eric. The spawning pool is already done. So the gas is already done, is being prioritized, and this is to rush into Link's speed and a Bane bust typically. Yeah, that's what I imagine is going to be happening. Just straight up 13-12 here from Eric. Rushing into that gas, going for a proxy hatch as well. Oh my god, it's just all coming together. The most aggressive opener you can go for here in ZVP. Now with this hatchery, the goal here is to block off that wall. It's to block off the wall so that when the Lings arrive, they can have increased surface area on the gateway, increased surface area on the pylon to just have their way with the army. The probe does confirm the gas is already done, spawning pool's already done. Shakti knows and he needs to wall off. He needs to wall off as quickly as possible. And there we go, we get the pylon, we get the cyber core. We delay the expansion, the drone not here in time. We do manage to slip in. We do manage to get into the main base, and this is going to be forcing the voice to be pulled. We're going for the proxy hatch in the main. Oh my god. The hatchery will not block off the wall, but we'll get into the main base. Hatchery is on the way. Lings are flooding across the map. Link's speed is being produced. We are still mining gas, so I'm waiting for the Bailey nest. I'm waiting for the follow-up tech, as Eric needs a little bit more gas. Lings have arrived. They're going for the cybercore. Oh! Hoping for the surround. Zeld has to be careful. Got a couple of swipes in. The probe has arrived to help support. Again, this probe is so important to make sure we don't get surrounded. Oh! To make sure we don't get surrounded, but it's a little bit too late. Oh, we do barely get away. Whew. Oh my god. Shakti, calm down. The Zealots was looped up. Would not get surrounded. Eric could not get a hold on. And for now, we are holding. There's that Baneliness that we spoke about. Now, what is scary is this pylon position. The pylon is very exposed. A Bane bust can work, can break through this initial pylon wall. Lings can flood in. Likewise, we're getting on top of the Stalker. Oh, we do try to slip away. We slip in. We're going for the surround. Oh, the Stalker is under fire. Lings, they do manage to break past. Getting into the mineral line. Hatchery finishes up. Oh. Hatchery is done. We still have no idea. Link speed kicks in. But we want to hide that hatchery. The creep is spotted. GG gets called as we realize how much danger we're in. The hatchery is revealed, and Eric will take the series at 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here, as Eric will take the 2-0 over Shakti, will advance on to the grand finals. A very fast series. A very fast series between Eric and Shakti, which is what we expected. But Eric, just hyper aggression from him, just refused to really let up at all, and did eventually overwhelm, did eventually snowball out of control. Again, unfortunately, the hatchery was not spotted, was not seen, and because of that, we just weren't able to react in time. We're not able to. With that, congratulations, Eric does make it through. And we have a bit of downtime. We have a little bit of downtime here as we head on over. I believe the lower semifinals just begun. they're 2 minutes into their game. You can see there Master and Inexorable, a PVT currently mid-series, is being covered by Cosmos. We might be able to jump in mid-series. I'm more than happy to just wait and jump into game 2 or game 3 and then follow that into the finals. That's the plan. That is the current plan. Oh boy. Master is on Eximius, right? Just double checking, just setting up our... He's on Hellfire. Okay. Okay, not on Eximius anymore. I didn't know that Master was on Platinum Heroes for a while as well. Oh my god. Hold on. I find... Can I find this? But yeah, with this, we're going to be going on a short break, and when we return, we'll have some more. Have some more matches for you. We'll have those lower semifinals. Actually, let me just double check. Are they in game 1 or game 2? Yet to be determined. Let's head on over to Cosmos' channel. I will give a link in the chat. They're in game 1. They are in game number 1. You can check it out. I tried to sleep with you last night. I could not. I played Max Packs and Beyond. That was a great finals. That was beautiful. Did you watch Blind much? Remember when Stefano almost beat all the Koreans by himself? Epic. New meta. That was a long time ago. But Eric, he was active in the same era as Bly. Like, Eric's been around for a long time. Long time. Has been around for a long time. But yeah, something that I wanted to show off a little bit is how long it's been since I've casted some of these players here. It's been years. Like, again, I guess it shows how long we've been casting. I think it's fine showing this. But you can see here. Can I zoom in? Yeah, we've got Shakti versus Jarpy. This was back in 2021. We've got Jim Rising versus Shakti. Jim Rising. We got Ryan. I remember Ryan was an American Protoss player back in the day. Saberlight as well. He was a Peruvian Protoss player. Up here, Shelby. Jaime again. Paco Mike. Ryu. This is Battle of the Americas. This is Desafiantes. Remember Desafiantes? Oh my god. That was another big tournament. Desafiantes was basically like Challenger or like Code A. Well, really just Code S. Well, no, yeah, Code A is maybe a better way of putting it. Code A of the Latin American region. With Desafiantes. Sedeme Latino, Kawhi Period. Eric versus Shakti. Yo! Let's go. This is back in 2021. The same matchup. Shakti versus Eggs. Terran versus Shakti. Kalazur versus Shakti. Turkey Danner. Sub. He was a Chilean player. Cham. The Zerg Lord. So much history here, Papi. So much history. Yeah, it's been a while. Great to see they're still, active, still playing, still competing. It's beautiful to see. But yeah, we're going to be going in a short break. When we return, we will have game 2 of Master versus Inexorable. So, going to be heading off for now, and we'll see you guys in a couple of minutes. I need a moment to set up players and all that stuff as well. So, see you soon. See you soon. Enjoy another duct tape.
Oh. And welcome to Battle of Americas. It is I, Milk and Cookies. Ha! Psych!
I'm the host today, not Light. I'm here joined by Light, actually. I had no idea you were counting down. I thought we were still going through that whole, like, oh, you need permission from Darking? So I was just like, oh. And I heard your mic beep, and I was like, oh, crap, he undeafened and unmuted himself.
What do you want? I asked you if you're ready. And you're like, yes.
I was
sir."
ready, and then
Yeah.
you didn't count down right away. So I was like,
down.
and then you left. I was like, all right, I guess he left. Like, we're waiting. And I was like, all right then. No, they got to pick up and go. These medevacs are going to get cleaned up.
Oh. Yeah, everything's gonna be going down. The Marauder gets sent down and it's running away because it can't shoot up. Get home, buddy. Get home.
Why are you running?
Oh, can he escape?
Why are you running?
Stalker's like, where's that fucking Marauder? Come here.
Look at his legs go. Oh no, this thing right out.
Oh, unfortunate.
Yeah, literally any damage right now for Patience is going to be incredible. Huh.
Is Patience trying to convert the building? What is
You know,
happening?
I don't think I've ever seen this before. Let's see what happens.
No.
Literally nothing.
Oh, god damn it. Alright. Oh my god. And you know what that means?
Kuro, come here and do the Spanish intro.
That means Kura needs to jump in. Yeah.
All right, I'll go back to watching Frozen.
Watching Frozen again?
No, I was just kidding.
Oh my god. Krop.
I am not doing Spanish.
You are doing the Spanish intro.
I'm
Milk,
not
It's your
doing
fault.
Spanish.
You got played
I did-
into it. All
I
right.
did like 3 times the I did it like 3 times. This is your turn. I'm
Listen,
not doing
listen.
a Spanish intro.
I don't control it, okay? The people control it. All right. It's not my fault that you just happen to activate Vortex's trap card. All right. You played into his hands. He looked at you dead in the eye. He's like, "Oh yeah, Spanish intro, huh? Look what I got right here."
Curry's got you there. It's your fault, really. Like,
It's
You know what
boring.
that, you know what
I
that
do it,
means?
like, every time I
you just need
cast.
more people to you just need more people to contribute before someone gets 16K. I'm just saying.
oh god. It's you know what, Curry, he's not wrong. Like you're the one who spent the points on the Spanish intro. You should have waited for
Okay,
Vortex. You should have waited.
listen.
You should have waited.
Now you say that, but when you and the other cast, you're like, no, we're gonna do it for the finals. We can wait. But when I can, suddenly, the rules change.
5 minutes later.
Attack the wings, so he was forced to look at it, and he throws out the spores. Oh no, he's not surrounding it properly.
Oh no, this is gonna get sniped.
That's it.
GG, just like that. GG, I'm done. I'm out. Bye.
Not like this. Oh god. F's in the
5
chat.
minutes, 40 seconds.
GG.
There you go, Vortex. That's what you get.
I bet the Spanish
No.
intro would have been longer than the game. Let's be honest.
It would have.
It would be. But also, I don't think it's, I can do the Spanish intro every cast. Come on.
But that's what he wants. That's what the chat
But-
wants.
Yeah, you know what?
But it's
That's
boring because I say the same things.
bring her out.
If I'm getting a crew, please, again, and you somehow make me into making the Spanish intro, Milk is casting with me.
No, yeah,
Okay, we
yeah.
have
I'll do
to
that.
take Milk down with
That's
this.
fine. That's fine. You know what? Hold on. I wanted to do something. Oh my god, look at what happened in the light VIP.
Oh, What? Dang.
Light VIP redeemed the crew, please. What happened?
How can you do her dirty like that? What's wrong with you?
I literally pressed exit game as I saw it in the chat.
Oh my god.
I ordered like 50 pounds of Tim Tams straight from Australia. You know, Tim Tams, the cakes. You ever heard of them, like?
They're not cakes. The hell you on about?
I want to make my own cake and just call it a Tim Tam cake.
You're like, this is a Tim Tam, right? You like tweet it out. And it's like,
Or I'll get Tim Tams, crush them up, and put them in a cake, and it'll be a Tim Tam cake.
oh god, awful.
Life's like, I will have none of this.
This is blasphemy.
Unacceptable.
It's a war crime. You can get sent to
That's a war
jail here
crime.
for that.
The Geneva Convention also, that is definitely a war crime.
Okay, so we're going to ice and that other thing, that other substance we're not sure about.
Ice and
Does-
more ice.
Because its existence has not been proven.
Maybe if you tune up the textures, maybe it'll be there. I don't know.
There is no chrome. Hashtag there is no chrome. Hashtag the chrome is a lie. We've been told a lie.
We've been lied
A
to.
lie. We've been lied to. There is no chrome. Wake up, sheeple. Wake up. Get woke. The chrome is a lie. They're coming in. They're coming in. Turns out it was just a misunderstanding.
Not that.
There is chrome. Everything is fine.
If you manage to snipe out the observer, the DTs could possibly go and take out the armor.
Yeah. Doesn't the Kyojin doesn't have an observer here though, so you can't really see Secret Ninja's observer.
Oh no!
Oh, he killed his own son.
Oh, that's my disruptor right there.
Claire, Iris, what are you doing? Stop playing the game for Secret Ninja. Stop
I want to
ruining
be in
his
a
game.
final so bad.
There's a vivid description of how I picture Australia. Giant bugs that you have to kill with guns.
I mean, we don't have guns here, so we gotta like boomerang that stuff. You know, just gotta.
You gotta boomerang. You gotta boomerang all the bugs. That's hilarious. One thing me and Yaku actually, now that I remember, we need to clear up because I don't know if you answered it or were there to hear, but I already forgot what it was. Something about Steve Irwin. Oh yeah. Yaku said that everyone in Australia either has or knows someone who has a Steve Irwin shrine. Do you have a Steve Irwin shrine?
So there's something that you need to know about Yaku is that he says a lot. He doesn't know a lot.
Oh yeah, I know. It just sounds like it would be fun if it was true.
It would be fun.
I am the information goblin. I still mod, and Blomlitz is the anti-steel mold. For those who are not aware, he's a very evil person that lives inside of me. I am you. Yes, we know. Stop it. Interrupting the casting all the time, being annoying. I am not annoying. I am evil. Alright, if you say so. Anyway, speaking of evil, we are on Death Aura. LE. LE, of course, stands for Little Evil. Little Evil. That's what Blomlitz is. If you in the northwest corner of the
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed those lovely duct tapes from times gone by as we have returned with the lower semifinals of Code for Giants Cup number 5. We're jumping in mid-series. We just wrapped up with the upper semis with Eric versus Shaq T. And now we're jumping in mid-series into Master versus Inexorable. Into this TVP, we're jumping in and spawning in the top right-hand corner of Post Youth. We have our Brazilian Protoss, player, the Blue Protoss, representing Team Hellfire. It is Master. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the Yellow Terran player representing the Platinum Heroes, a new up-and-comer, a rising star. He is 17 years old, Papi. Oh my god. He's a young boy. And he's leading the series 1-0. It is Inexorable. And here we go. We're jumping on in. I am shocked to see that Inexorable is leading the series, but I'm also out of the loop. What I mean by that, Inexorable is a new player. He started competing in 2022, and we stopped covering Latin American StarCraft at around the start of 2022. So basically, as Inexorable started competing, a lot of the Latin American tournaments dried up. So I'm unfamiliar. I've cast like a little bit of Inexorable, I think, like once or twice maybe, but not really too often. So I missed the rise. I missed the rise of Inexorable, and apparently he's the reigning champion. He is last edition's champion for Code for Giants Cup. He is the one to beat. And I'm a little bit in shock because I would have favored Master, right? Like Master, he has been on the top of the Brazilian scene for a very long time at this point. He is kind of the next generation of pro player, at least in my mind, in Brazil. Like the old guard was Shaq T, Master, kind of the newer guard, and now Inexorable is coming in as a very young player with a lot of potential. I was asking Cosmos who he was, and he's like, mate, he's crazy. He's 16 years old. He's been getting better and better month after month, week after week, tournament after tournament, and he's just been taking down some of these veterans, right? Some of these older school players like your Master, your Shaq T, your Erics. So I'm ready. I'm ready to be introduced with a proxy Reaper. Rax is done. Reaper's into the main base, already going to be chipping away at the mineral line. We missed out on what happened in Game 1. Game 1 was a long macro game. Already one probe goes down. Reaper does back off. So far, so good for Inexorable. Continuing with his Reaper production back at home is transitioning, which it was a double gas opener into a factory, into a delayed command center. CC is on the way, and so far, so good. So a lot to catch up on. But so far, so good. We've gotten one probe kill. We keep the Reapers alive. We can dip back in, and we can look for another probe. We dip in and we don't quite commit this time. Again, you can see Master is settling into his 2-base setup here. Second gate's on the way. A bit of a supply block, but we'll eventually break out of that. Yeah, with the completion of the Nexus across the map. Probe just trying to get a scout off, trying to get a read on what's going on. Does get eyes on the upcoming Rex. Sorry, the upcoming starport. Does confirm the 1-1-1. So now he knows that there's no early bio push coming. There's no second or third Rax, not yet. Did confirm the factory, as Reapers did dip back in. Still just the one probe kill. Expansions are getting up and running. The game is going to be calming a little bit down from here. And again, we missed out on Game 1. From my understanding, it was around a 20 or so minute game. Was back and forth on Amphion, which is why I'm impressed that Inexorable was able to take it in a longer macro game. And we'll see if Master can recover. We'll see if he can bounce back and force the ace match. But now third gate's on the way. Reapers don't quite get a scout off. We have not seen the tech of choice. It could be a Stargate, could be a Twilight Council. Inexorable is in the dark. Here across the map, settling into his 3-1-1 setup. 3 Raxes, 1 factory, 1 starport is all on the way. Looks like the Cyclones have gained map control. Only 2 Cyclones to begin with, just to shut down any kind of stray units, whether it's Oracles, Phoenixes. And we're even going to be sending our medevac and drop across the map. It looks like we can maybe even dive into the main. This early on, we can focus on these 2 Stalkers. Not the entire army. It's 5 Stalkers in total with a shield battery on the right-hand side. But here on the left, we're vulnerable and we're diving in. Yeah, we're going for the Stalkers. We get the lock on. 1 Stalker going to be going down. And can we get the other? Looks like we won't quite be able to hot pick up. It looks like second Stalker goes down. And we bleed out the Reapers, but we save the Cyclones. Very nice control here out of Inexorable. Very clutch juggling. I'm impressed. I'm getting impressed here, and again, like I've heard good things about Inexorable, but I haven't seen them yet. I haven't seen them myself, so I'm ready. I'm ready to see what this young man with his fast hands can bring to the table. Back at home, settling in, get 3 racks set up. Stim is on the way. Tank production has begun. Cyclones attempt to dip back in. Bold move considering how low HP these Cyclones are. We have to calm things down, Poppy. Calm down, at least a little bit. So we are settling in. Watching your reaction while he's trying to get out his inner monologue is extremely entertaining. Look, it's fine. It's fine. We let Yaku talk, Pop. We let him talk. It's all good. Look, in current era of casting, he's gotten a lot better at brevity. Back in the day, you know, the Yaku intros were more of a meme where he would where Yaku would spend like a solid 5 minutes introducing a player. No. But that's more of a thing of the past nowadays. More of a thing of the past. But now, Cyclone Jolt. Again, these Cyclones are still insanely low. It's very bold of Inexorable to continue going in. And it looks like we get one more probe. One more worker goes out. Ooh, but it costs us both Cyclones. Yeah, Inexorable just flying too close to the sun here. A little bit too aggressive. Does bleed everything out. But this entire time we've been building up. Third CC's on the way. We're moving out. We have 3 tanks. Stim about to finish up. Combat shields is done. +1 about to finish in time for this push. Very crisp timing here from Inexorable. Very crisp. And as our Terran moves out, the Protoss moves in. And both armies, they miss each other. Uh-oh. They do miss each other. We could end up with a weird base trade, but Master hits first. He's pushing in. And there's nothing at home to defend. Do we turn back around? No, we commit. We're going for a full base trade. Oh, never mind. Do we recall? Like, there's nothing here. We can go in. We can send it, Poppy. Oh, Master turns around. He turns around for a moment, then turns back. Oh, indecision here from Master. It could cost him the game. Third base goes down. Master should have already been in here. And it looks like we do deny concussive shell just in time. Boys are being pulled. Tank comes out. We actually have some units to defend now. We took too long. We took a little bit too long. Back at home, we have a Colossus. Inexorable has to keep on pushing. Tank's a little bit too far behind. Swipes going off. Tanks getting within range. Back at home, Stalks are forced out. We get 12 SCV kills. Oh, shield battery within range. No shield battery, no overcharge. The Protoss is vulnerable. Stalkers are turning back around. We can try to set up a surround. It is possible. More is also warping in. We're within range of the Cybercore. Cybercore and a gateway. And here we go. Master breaking out. There's just too much fire. The Zelts are going to get annihilated. Massive tank fire here on the Colossus. Very nice target fire. Fire out of Inexorable. The Terran player will snowball out of control. There's just too much. The Colossus pops out, but within range of the Marines. And we just stim on forward. We focus on. There's nothing left here to support. GG Inexorable will take the 2-0. Will bring down Master. GG, well played. Oh my god. GG, well played. Congratulations here to our Terran player, Inexorable. Again, he is 17 years old. I have barely been able to cast him whatsoever, but just now being introduced to him as a player. And GG. GG, well played. Cosmos just messaged me. He's like, I told you. He's crazy. I mean, he is. Oh, apparently he did some practice with Future. Okay. But yeah, just double checking. Sorry, I say we've casted him a couple of times. I've never casted him. I was just trying to cover my bases just in case. But I was just double checking. I've never casted Inexorable before. I just checked our YouTube channel. This is our first time casting him, covering him, and I'm impressed. I'm impressed. Inexorable, our Terran player, he advances on to the grand finals to face off against Eric in a best of 5. Practices with Vindicta sometimes. Plays in all the Open Cups, in the EU Open Cups. Says he can do that until his classes come back. Okay. So apparently Inexorable, he practices with Future and Vindicta. The best Terran players in America. Damn. I mean, the practice is paying off. And now he's up against a Titan. Now he's up against a very different beast here. I mean, sure, Master, he is an amazing Protoss player. Don't get me wrong. He's amazing. He's solid. He's powerful. But now he's up against a Kangaroo. Now Inexorable is up against Eric. Eric, of course, one of our own. I'm a little bit biased. Definitely a little bit biased here in favor of Eric, because he is a Duckling. He's a CranKy Duckling. And Eric is not orthodox. So, hey, you know, you can have as much practice as you want. You may be practicing against some of the best players out there in the world, but no one else out there plays quite like Eric. Eric is very unique. Eric, he isn't just cheesy. He's very creative. He comes up with his own builds, and he can be very difficult to read. I feel like you need practice against Eric to be ready for Eric. Like, like practice against other players doesn't really help too much. So, we'll see how this all comes about. Again, we casted Eric, you know, take down Gumiho, for example. Like, Eric in ZVT has really unique builds going into Swarm Host play, into Fast Infestor play as well. It's been a while, though. It's been a couple of months since I've casted Eric's ZVT, so I'm excited. I'm always excited to cast Eric. Always, Papi, always. Let's go. As vetoes are underway, and we are getting ready for our final series. It all ends here. It all ends in a ZVT. Quickly just double checking here. When it comes to the previous code for Giants Cup, Inexorable was the champion, and who did he beat? So Inexorable, he took down Eric 2-1 in the semis. Okay, so he's already beaten Eric before in a best of 3, and he took down Master in the grand finals. So Inexorable has already brought down both of the best players in the region, at least 2 weeks ago. Before that, he went down to Kamikaze in a TVT. Okay. So it's been back and forth. It's been back and forth. Inexorable, he has it in him to bring down Eric. I'm hoping this is a back and forth. I'm hoping that we can go all the way to the ace match even. I want to get as much as I can out of these two players. I'm ready. I'm ready. WCL has scarred him. It has. Like, Yaku, he's forced to, like... Fun fact, even when Yaku introduces a WTL, he still, like, finds a way to make it a little bit longer. But he, like, fun fact, when it comes to Yaku's intros, whenever he does WTL, his intros don't get shorter, he just speaks faster. I don't know if you noticed. Like, he still has, like, a couple of sentences to say, but he just, like... He just speed runs his way through them instead, which is always a lot of fun. I appreciate it. Yeah, much love to Yaku. As it looks like vetoes have concluded, and we're getting ready for our grand finals. Getting ready. Go. Race check. Ad break. Oh, do we have an ad break? Oh, okay. I did not know. But we are getting ready for those finals. It's been a relatively fast tournament. We're only like 2 hours in, or almost 2.5 hours in. We're already at the finals. And yeah, I'm definitely tempted to try and maybe even bring back another tournament. I mean, a lot of it depends. For those that are curious, Darking, he is El Padrino of StarCraft. He, for a long time, was like the admin, the administrator, the organizer of Latin American events. He was a part of Last Beat, a part of a lot of StarCraft. But he, a couple of years ago, he got a job at Twitch, and he got really busy with it, so he no longer had free time to host tournaments. He was the one hosting Sentimiento Latino. He was the one hosting a lot of the Latin American StarCraft events, and without him, a lot of them kind of petered out. But I know he has expressed interest in coming back to StarCraft, so maybe we can make something happen together. Maybe. I think a lot will depend on our growth as well. Like if we're able to grow our Patreon, it's tempting to expand elsewhere. Especially because like we have a hard time running events sometimes. Like we attempted with our Turtle Tussle, right? We attempted with GPO Grand Platypus Open with mixed success. But if someone like Darking is organizing stuff, then maybe I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm interested again. The passion. Regardless, here we go. We're jumping in. Game 1 is going to be on Oceanborn. Vetoes are done. Lobby is made. We're getting into that first game, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our Brazilian Terran player, the young up-and-comer himself, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Inexorable. The reigning Code for Champions Cup champion. Sorry, Code for Giants Cup. I keep saying Champions Cup. Why? Code for Giants Cup champion. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent going for a gas first. Not canceling, not going for a 15-15. Interesting. Going for a 14-14. The Brazilian Zerg player, the red Zerg representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Eric. Okay, so we're getting into a 14-14 into an Overlord. I believe this should be for an extractor trick. Yep, there we go. Going for the trick. Getting into a 15 hatchery timing potentially. So yeah, really interesting build here from Eric. Now, with the fast gas, we can rush into link speed. We could, I imagine in a ZVT, this is going to be for fast roaches. You know, in another matchup, link speed has a little bit more value. Here, I would not be surprised if we throw down a fast roach warren instead. We'll keep an eye on Eric to see where the gas is spent. Never mind. Okay, link speed. Link speed is on the way. We pull out of gas. No fast roaches from Eric, but very fast link speed. Okay, into a very delayed expansion. Going for a 17 hatchery here, quite later. Hatchery is on the way. Now, this SCV Scout will confirm the delayed hatchery. We'll get eyes on this. We'll confirm the links as well. For the fastest spawning pool, we can piece it all together. And how does Inexorable respond? How does he react?
You've built a fancier command center.
Oh, he's got TB. Let's go. Fun fact, I think this is the first player that I've heard using Total Biscuit. Most of them use, like, I don't know, Taste Hostess or Diva. Diva's a popular one. But yeah, I think this is the first player that I've heard use Total Biscuit in all my years of casting. Like, in like 6 years. Crazy. There we go, Lings are floating across the map. I'm moving out, and Inexorable going to be able to pick off a couple of Lings back at home. 2 Lings go down, but Link speed is about to kick in. Link speed is done, and our goal here is to get on top of the Reaper. Get on top of the Marine. Lings have arrived. We dive on top of the Marine. Up! Oh, the Reaper as well. The Marine will go down. So will the Reaper. It all does fall. SCVs are falling as well. The bunker will not finish. We evacuate the natural. We shut it all down. 2 workers, Reaper, Marine. Behind this, we're droning. We're not going all in. But Eric has controlled the low ground. Has controlled the natural. Behind this, getting into a 1-1-1. Delayed 3rd CC. Interesting. Much more aggressive follow-up here out of our Terran player. The Marine on the other side. No. Yeah, rough location for that Marine. Does go down. Our Terran will defend, will hold. And with this, where are we headed? Okay, add-on swap for Reactor Hellion. The starport can create a tech lab on its own. Banshee production is going to be delayed if that's the case. And across the map, Eric is still droning, getting a 3rd. 3rd is delayed. But Eric does have a worker lead. And we're going Viking first. Interesting. With this Viking, we're going to be hunting down the Overlords and denying any kind of map vision. No fusion core yet. Tech Lab is on the way. I'm curious if there's going to be Viking into an add-on switch, or if we're going Viking into just fast stim. Back at home, Eric throwing down a Roach Warren. He's going to play Roach Ravager. This is Eric's go-to in the mid-game, is Roach play. He doesn't embrace it more than Ling Bane. Yeah, it's okay. It's going to be stim. Okay, Viking first into stim. So Viking is looking for the Overlord. Has not been found. Can shut it down. But again, stim is on the way. Additional Raxes. Cutting Hellions at 5. So 5 Hellions here from our Terran player. Hellions going to be forced back. I believe we have not scattered. Ooh, this is brutal. We have not seen the Roach Warren, and we are massing Roaches. And why are we... never mind. I was going to say we're massing Roaches to go for a push, but we are still droning. Like, Eric, he's so hard to read. He's like the Brazilian Mio Micah, where, you know, sometimes he drones, sometimes he doesn't. It's really hard to tell when and where they're going for an all-in. Scan into the main, doesn't see much. Reveals an extra gas. There we go. Spots the Roaches. Big scout. And Inexorable is aware of the Roach production and should be getting ready. Roaches are moving out across the map. Inexorable getting ready back at home. Tanks are on the way. Lair in production for Eric. And he's only poking out with these Roaches. I believe he plans on droning. Yeah, there we go. We are droning up. Eric's worker count is still low. There's a tank on the high ground. Yeah, big tank volley goes off. Eric does have to retreat. Lings have arrived. We could try to break the natural, but with all these Hellions, it's going to be difficult. Yeah, the Lings, they turn back around. Ravagers are denied. We can at least get some depots. One depot will fall. That will supply block Inexorable. Back at home, we're droning. Viking being annoying. Getting some damage done. The Roach Ravager does step in. We're going for the tank. Boys are being pulled. Lings to go with the surround. They catch a Hellion. Not much else. Can we take down some SCVs? 4 SCVs full. We trade with the Hellions. We clean them up. And can we get the tank? And the Marines, they stim on forward. They focus down the Roaches. The tank will survive. Oh, the Miles. Oh my god. Eric, calm down. The Marines are about Eric trading as best he can. That's going to be 5 Roaches, 3 Ravagers, 19 Lings for 8 SCVs. Hellions, Marines, not bad. We needed the tank, though. The tank would have been ideal, because we did lose a lot of gas there. As Eric is droning up, saturating his 3rd, getting a 4th, taking up towards the infestation bit. That's going to be for infestors, fungal growths. Eric doesn't have much of an army. Thankfully for Eric, Inexorable is only moving out with the drop. He's keeping his tanks back at home. It's only going to be Marines. Eric will be able to hold on. Yeah, Roaches on their way. Marines, they send one forward. They go for the Queens. Oh. Attempt to go for the Queens. So far, we do hold on. Viking bearing away that Overlord. A drop making his way into the main base as well. Back at home, 3rd base up and running for our Terran player. Getting into the rest of his bio production. It's going to be a 5-rack setup on 3 bases. Armory's on the way for 2-2. Inexorable is macroing well. Like getting into his 3-base setup. But Eric is looking comfortable here. We do see Inexorable trying to split him apart. We have a drop outside of the main. Drop pushing into the natural. Mainland S on the way. We do pick off potentially a couple of workers. Not quite. We get 1. 1 drone goes down. Stimming into the mineral line. We get 3. Oh my god. 3 workers as the medevac barely does survive. Barely gets out of there. Calm down, Poppy. Calm down. Barely did get out. Oh my god. And with that, the infestors! Massive catch! We get 1! We get 2! 2 infestors go down. Massive pickoffs. Marines full, but that was well worth it here for the Terran. And we have to rebuild. 3 more infestors on the way. Tanks are pre-sieged. We catch the Roach Ravager. Oof. Eric getting caught out time and time again with the infestors with the Roach Ravager as well. Inexorable has been trading well. Has momentum on his side. Doesn't push out yet. We are still lacking fire. Like, there's a lot of tanks, true, but we just don't have enough Marines here to really support this army. Yeah, we leave the tanks back at home. We're going for a drop instead. Triple drop across the map. Scanning ahead of time, trying to get a read on the army. Eric is keeping up. We have Fungals. We have Fungals available. Exorbo force a split. The Fungal raises the army. The Miles! Oh my god. Will not connect. We do pull back in time. And we have 1 Fungal growth left. Looks like we will not quite catch the army. Eric joining up to 80. We have a solid economy. 80 workers. 4 bases. Soon to be 5. Ultra Cavern being thrown down. Balin S done for bailing speed. Vipers on the way. We're getting ready for Lingbane Roach Ravager into Ultra. Just getting rid of roaches entirely. The infestors! Not again! Oh my god, we unload. We catch 1 more infestor. Almost a second. Files will connect. They take down 1 medevac. But we've wasted so much energy. So many infestors have gone down. We have no Fungals left. And here comes the main army. Here comes the push. How many tanks do we have? 9. As many tanks as there are roaches. Ooh, medevac goes down. We clean up the army. Terran player pushing right through the center, but Eric is maxed out. This time with Lingbane. He has a much better army to deal with tanks. Not just Roach Ravager. Not anymore. 4 Ultras in production. The Liberators will complicate things. True. Eric is maxed and he can collapse on this. Now he doesn't have kindness plating. Ooh, +2. Under fire. The army is zoned away. +2 should be able to finish. Viper coming in from behind. Ooh. Not quite getting that blinding cloud. We're going for it though. The flank is real. And we get 1 blinding cloud on the tanks and now we collapse in. We pull the trigger. And Lingbane and Ultras kindness plating finishing up just in time for the fight. And we are breaking through. The Ultras are getting low though. Can we get more of these tanks? We get 1 more. We barely get another. 2 tanks survive. There's still plenty of bio left over. And Inexorable is pushing in. Eric, we have nothing left. 6 Ultras in production. But Ultras on their own, what can they do? And the freedom is here. Ultras collapsing on the army. Lings as well. Oh, it's a close defense. It's a very close hold. And we do clean this up. Ooh, just barely. Eric barely holds on, chasing down the reinforcements, gets another tank. When Exorbo rallying a little bit too much, he did snipe the Ultra. He sniped the Ultra, now it's Eric's turn to overextend, has to pull back. Rallying his Ultras. Producing roaches. I believe these roaches are only for Ravagers, so we have some anti-air for these libs. So Ravagers are on the way, as many as we can make. As many as possible. Hatchery did go down. We're still on 4 bases. Our drone count is still looking good. Eric has remaxed. But you could see like how efficient the Terran army can be. As the Ling Ramai does find these SCVs. The workers. Oh, they get caught out. But so far, only 3 SCVs going down. A very nice defense. At the same time, the Ultras pushing right down mid. We shut down a Liberator. We got 1 Liberator, we got 2 tanks. And Eric, it looks like we may have just done it. Another Liberator going to be falling. Massive pickoffs. CC gets denied. More files. Ooh, bit of friendly fire, but it was worth it. We got on top of the SCVs, and Eric, he has broken through. It was a very close game. Eric barely survived earlier. GG gets called, and Eric takes game number 1. Whew. GG. A very, very dynamic game there. Very back and forth. Eric with a wild opener going for a 14-14. With Link Speed was able to gain map control early on. Likewise, though, Inexorable finding so many infestors, so many stray infestors out on the map, punishing Eric for his inattention. for being unable to keep up with some of the drop play of the Terran. And that main push almost killed Eric. That was almost game then and there. Eric was barely able to get into those ultras. Again, the timing of his upgrades were insane with +2 and with Carapace. Sorry, with +2 Carapace and with Kindness Plating. Eric barely held. And GG. GG, well played. Eric takes game 1. But it's the best of 5. Plenty more games ahead of us. Ooh, plenty more games. Let's go. Let us go. $14 gas, yeah. It was a wild start. It's 14-14. Something you don't really see. You don't really see that too often at all. That goes into what we were saying earlier about how Eric is a very unorthodox player and comes up with his own builds. Can be very difficult to read. Can it be quite difficult? As it looks like we're gonna be going on a short break, actually, which we're more than happy to. Basically, looks like something is up, and Cosmos has to attend to something. Cosmos, of course, is the main organizer and sponsor of this event. Without Cosmos, this event would not be possible. And not just Cosmos, but also, I believe there are other sponsors as well. Code for Giants, essentially, and yeah, Cosmos does need a moment here, so we're more than happy to. It's going to take a couple of minutes, and you know what that means? That means we have time for a duct tape. Let's go. So we're going to be going on a short break. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. Enjoy one of our old duct tapes. It's going to be beautiful. Well, actually, yeah. Let's go.
I ordered like 50 pounds of Tim Tams straight from Australia. You know, Tim Tams, the cakes. You ever heard of them, like?
They're not cakes. The hell you on about?
I want to make my own cake and just call it a Tim Tam cake.
You're like, this is a Tim Tam, right? You like tweet it out. And it's like,
or I'll get Tim Tams, crush them up, and put them in a cake, and it'll be a Tim Tam cake.
Oh god, awful.
Life's like, I will have none of this.
This is blasphemy.
Unacceptable.
It's a war crime. You can get sent to jail here for that.
Geneva Convention also. That is definitely a war crime.
Okay, so we're going to ice and that other thing, that other substance we're not sure about.
Ice and more ice.
Because its existence has not been proven.
Maybe if you tune up the textures, maybe it'll be there. I don't know.
There is no chrome. Hashtag there is no chrome. Hashtag the chrome is a lie. We've been told a lie.
We've been lied to.
A lie. We've been lied to. There is no chrome. Wake up, sheeple. Wake up. Get woke. The chrome is a lie. They're coming in. They're coming in. Turns out it was just a misunderstanding.
Not that.
There is chrome. Everything is fine.
If you manage to snipe out the observer, the DTs could possibly go and take out the army.
Yeah. Doesn't the Kyojin doesn't have an observer here though, so you can't really see. Secret Ninja's observer.
Oh no!
Oh, we killed his own son.
Oh, that's my disruptor right there.
Claire, Iris, what are you doing? Stop playing the game for Secret Ninja. Stop.
I want to be in a final so bad.
There's a vivid description of how I picture Australia. Giant bugs that you have to kill with guns.
I mean, we don't have guns here, so we gotta like boomerang that stuff. You know, just gotta.
You gotta boomerang. You gotta boomerang all the bugs. That's hilarious. One thing me and Yaku actually, now that I remember, we need to clear up because I don't know if you answered it or were there to hear, but I already forgot what it was. Something about Steve Irwin. Oh yeah. Yaku said that everyone in Australia either has or knows someone who has a Steve Irwin shrine. Do you have a Steve Irwin shrine?
So there's something that you need to know about Yaku is that he says a lot. He doesn't know a lot.
Oh yeah, I know. It just sounds like it would be fun if it was true.
It would be fun.
I am the information goblin. I still mod. And Blomlitz is the anti-still mold. For those who are not aware. He's a very evil person that lives inside of me. I am you. Yes, we know. Stop it. Interrupting the casting all the time, being annoying. I am not annoying. I am evil. Alright, if you say so. Anyway, speaking of evil, we are on Death Aura. LE. LE, of course, stands for Little Evil. Little Evil. That's what Blomlitz is. If you in the northwest corner of the
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the grand finals of Code for Giants Cup number 5. It's good to be back. I apologize for the break, but we have returned here and we are mid-series. Game 1 just concluded, and our Zerg player here has a lead, but it's a best of 5, and we can go back and forth. We can take a turn here. Things can take a turn as we're going for another gas first. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of Crimson Court, we have the blue Zerg player representing the CranKy Ducklings. He's one of our own from land of Brazil. It is Eric. And the same opener, 14-14, spawning across the map in the bottom left-hand corner of Crimson Court. We have the Brazilian Terran player, the yellow Terran, representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Inexorable. Here we go, and We saw what this build led to, or this opener led to in the previous game. This leads into fast Ling speed, into control of the low ground. We were able to shut down the Reaper, 2 Marines, 2 SCVs, and delay mining at the natural base for as long as possible. So it is just a way to get control early on, to get some economic damage, and to make the Terran player as uncomfortable as possible. So it is supposed to be a more aggressive kind of macro opener, ideally meant to get some damage done across the map. We'll see how Inexorable adapts, because this is a very unorthodox way to start the game. This is not standard whatsoever, and not saying it's just not standard, but I imagine no one else does this. I'll be honest, I don't think any other Zerg player out there opens up quite like Eric, so we'll see how our Terran player adapts on the fly. For now, racks expand. Standard opener, SCV scout across the map. This SCV will confirm the delayed hatchery and will piece together what exactly is occurring. We can see that Eric did pull out a gas, so we're not rushing into a Bailey Nest or a Bane Bust or a Roach Rush or anything like that. It is merely Ling speed. And the Lings will, they will miss! They don't quite shut down the SCV, but the SCV will fall. We get a full scout. We confirm no additional gas mining, so Inexorable knows that there's no Bane Buster coming, but there are Lings. Is aware of the Lings at least. Back at home, bunker is on the way. I believe the Reaper is likewise turning back around as well, staying back at home so we have some extra DPS to defend. Marines are amassing, and the Overlord does confirm the bunker. Here we go. Lings are moving out in 10 seconds. Ling speed will kick in. And can we get here in time? Can we get us around once again on the Reaper? Can we shut down the low ground? As we go, Lings are on the way. Reaper on patrol. It is spotted by the Overlord. And the Lings, they're going right for it. Oh, the bunker does finish up. Does finish in time. Again, a nice adaptation here by Inexorable to focus and prioritize the bunker. Bunker now finishes, and these Lings do nothing. The Lings, they can't really do much of anything here. Not anymore. They could try to run past the bunker and go for the mineral line and maybe focus on some SCVs and some mules. But that's really the best chance. Once Eric does spot the road to that Maynard. The wall is up and running. Lings going for the surround. Oh! They don't quite get it. Yeah, Lings, they don't get much done here. So far, good control here out of the Terran. We start to step around. 1 Marine, never mind. 2 Marines go down. And the Reaper. Uh-oh. We get all the units. Boys are being pulled away. We will clean this up, but pretty nice damage here by Eric. Just turning water into wine. Somehow, some way, we found some damage. We baited the army out. We got this around. We got something for our opener. Back at home, Eric droning up. Happily droning, getting into a third base, saturating as quickly as possible, taking a second gas, and we see what is the gas for roaches. Once again, a roach follow-up out of Eric is settling into roach play, getting into our third. Likewise, our Brazilian Terran player also building up towards Stim and getting into a third CC. Okay, this time a very different response. Remember, last game we went into a 1-1-1 followed by the third CC. This is a 3CC 2-1-1. Interesting. So a much faster third base, so much more economic, into a second rack, into a delayed starport. This is a Stim timing. We're getting to a Stim timing here. Stim is on the way. Medevac production, we're basically going to be swapping the starport with the factory into double Medevac production as quickly as possible. Into a 60 Marine push with some Hellions, with even a Cyclone. So basically, because of this opener and this build of choice from the Terran player, there's very little map control. Again, we have very few Hellions and Cyclones. Like, we have very little factory units here, so we're stuck at home. We're free to spread creep and make use of these queens and saturate our bases, but that Sim timing can still hit like a truck. And there's the add-on swap. Third base being taken. Add-on swap here for our Terran player. Into Medevacs. Ooh, we're taking the linear third. Okay, a much safer third base location for Inexorable. The bio count still building up. Likewise, Eric getting into his own 1-1 upgrades. Double Eva Chamber on the way. Turning up to 2 base saturation. Still not quite fully saturating the third. We have a handful of roaches, but we may not have enough here. Eric did not scout. He did not scout the main. He's not aware of the follow-up. He's not aware of how much danger he's in. Here it comes at the double drop. And Eric is droning. Uh-oh. We have 4 roaches. We're supply blocked. We have 4 roaches, we have 5 lings, we have supply blocked, we have upgrades on the way. Here comes the double drop, and Eric has very little to defend. We have very few units. The army has arrived. Eric has to pull back. Gotta try to engage. The army sims on forward. We bleed out a roach. Queens are coming in. We get into the mineral line. Drones are being targeted down. We got 6 drone kills already. But we are forced to pick up. Full medevac goes down. Oh my god. Inexorable overextending there. Bleeds out the medevac. Gets an overlord. But it looks like Eric will hold on. Will survive. Whew. Eric holds with the bare minimum. I'm very impressed here that Eric was able to survive this push. Did lose a lot of workers, but we survived nonetheless. Queen pulls back. Medevac barely escapes. Eric joining up to 61. Likewise, Inexorable gets his own third base up and running as well. This is one of the big features of this map of Crimson Court, is the third base is very secure, at least here on the right-hand side or left, depending on where you do spawn in. You have to knock down rocks or mine through minerals to gain access to this location, and we can see that that just hasn't been the case. Right now, this third base is looking very secure. We're scanning, looking for another expansion. Eric is mining through these mineral patches. He is opening that up. And our Terran player is primed to shut them down. To shut down that would-be hatchery. Meanwhile, Eric, for the time being, is committed to Roach Ravager. The Infestation bit is about to finish up. This should be for Infestors to support. And from here, we'll then get into Ling Bane. Ling Bane is going to be on the horizon after we settle into our 4-base setup. Meanwhile, double drop is coming in. Eric does have eyes on this. But nothing at home to defend. We're committed. We have tanks. And we're going to be able to dial down at least some of this, and there's not much to support the tanks, actually. First tank goes down, so the second, so there's a third. 0 tanks remaining. Liberator putting in a lot of damage. We need a couple more vials. Vials, they will connect. We're pushing up into the main base at the same time across the map. Drones are going down. The drop play getting out of hand. We're going for a base trade. We're focusing down the factory, not the SCVs. Factory does fall. Inexorable, he's racing back home. Roaches have arrived. Eric, he defends. He's able to barely defend. And Inexorable, he just evacuates the main. He's lifting up. He's getting the hell out of there, but there's nothing left. We're racing back home with a handful of Marines. Inexorable just is not ready for this. More racks is on the way. 0 production, barely an army. Eric does have to evacuate the main, though. Like, there's nothing left to kill. We have to keep going. As Inexorable, he's trying to evacuate towards the third base, but it looks like Eric, yeah, he's on the hunt. He's racing on over. Boys are being pulled. We only have Marines. Marines are good, but they're not that good. The Biles, they take down the medevac. GG, well played. And Eric takes game number 2. Whew. A very tense situation. I was so concerned about the base trade. I was so concerned that Eric would not have enough to break through the defensive line of tanks. Remember, there were like 4 tanks on the low ground. One of them was on siege. Thankfully, Liberator was also late to siege as well. And Eric barely broke through, got into the main base. Inexorable did not have enough across the map. And with that, GG. Eric is on match point. Eric needs 1 more to be this week's Code for Giants Cup champion. Needs 1 more. And has Eric actually won some of these events? I'm curious, actually. Double checking here. He won the first one. Okay, so Eric, he's the very first Code for Giants Cup champion. But ever since then, he's gotten 2nd place, 3rd place, 4th place. Like Eric, he hasn't won one of these since April. It's been a while. But now he's so close. Now clearly, Eric, he's been brushing up on his ZVT. He's been refining this opener and this playstyle. And Eric is a 1 game away from becoming our champion. Inexorable, again, he's last week's champion. He is he has proven himself before, but here this week against Eric, he is struggling. He has to fight back here and now. No more mistakes, no more missteps. We're jumping in to Alcyone. Let's go. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Alcyone, we have our Brazilian Terran player, the Yellow Terran, representing the Platinum Heroes. Down in this series, he has to fight back here and now to have a chance at forcing the ace match. It is inexorable. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent once again going for a 14 gas into a 14 spawning pool. It's been his go-to opener this entire series. The Brazilian Zerg player, the blue Zerg, representing the CranKy Ducklings, it is Eric. Let's go. Now, we saw that in the previous game, Inexorable did rush into that bunker far faster and did have it in time. Unfortunately, he was pulled out of position, and Eric was able to find some damage. Surprisingly, he was able to just pull Inexorable left and right, catch the Reaper, catch the Marines, and get something for his early lings. We'll see how Inexorable adapts here in Game 3, and if Eric is able to trade as well as he did. It's the evolution of these two players in this series. Inexorable has been getting better and better at defending. Has still lost quite a bit. Hoping to refine his play. Very interesting. Speaking of refining our play, it's going to be a Rax expand into a... Wait, sorry, my apologies. That was CC first, right? Yeah. CC first into a 2 Rax. Okay. Now, CC first is a little more common on this map. The reason for this is because of the longer rushes and spike rounds and the more kind of macro approach that Alcyone does provide you. So this is a very greedy start. CC first into delayed Raxes. I believe this should be into Marine production. Yep, there we go. Marines are on the way, not Reapers. Meanwhile, Eric has still embraced the same opener. Overlord will confirm the faster CC as we dip in, and the CC is about to finish. So Eric is now aware of the greedier start. Behind this, singular Marine into add-ons, Reactor and Tech Lab. So this is leading into a 2-1-1 variation. We could see a third CC, but I'm leaning along the lines of maybe even a third Rax or a factory. We'll see. Lings are moving out. Add-ons are finishing up. Thankfully, we're making an extra Marine just in case there's the factory follow-up. Eric gonna be hiding those things. Bailey Nest on the way. We stay in gas. We've stayed in gas. We're going for a Bane bust. Eric, he has not drawn. He's massing up more lings. We're going for a bust. And what's scary here is that this is ideal against this build. What I'm referring to, no Hellions. No Hellions to support, no Bunker, no Reaper to scout. Inexorable sees nothing. No SCV scout, no Reaper scout. He's in the dark. And Eric, he recognizes how greedy his opponent has been. And now it's time to punish. Like, what do we have? We have vanilla Marines. Stim is not going to finish in time. And there's no Hellions. There's nothing. Eric going for the counter, going for the punish. We're getting to our starport. See add-on on the factory. Only a handful of Marines, and we have so many lings flooding across the map. Again, Eric identifying the opener. And he does have his own response to it. Bailings are waddling in, and we're looking to bust down that wall. Immediately Inexorable, he does pull away. The wall's on the wall! The depot has not risen. We don't even have to waste the Bailings. They're waddling in. We're going for the surround on the Marines. More boys being pulled. And here come the Bailings. Stefar, good stutter stepping. Ooh, and we do connect with the SCVs. 13 workers, 14 workers going down. We will hold, we will defend, but it costs us so much. As we've gone 15, soon to be 16 workers. We have control of the low ground. Now from here, Eric could decide to drone, but no, he's still just massing up more Ling Bane. We gotta surround, no shot, we get in! Lings, they bust into the main base. More boys being pulled, but it's too late. There's 2 Marines left. Now 1, now 0. Stim is finishing up in 3 seconds, but what can we stim? What even is there? We have a couple of Hellions. Hellions, they just barely pop out. Upgrade did finish. We just ignore the SCVs. We go for the surround. 1 Hellion left. Oh, there's 1 Hellion. There's 0 Hellions remaining. Lings, they just keep on flooding. They keep on coming. And here come the Baileys to bust down that wall, to knock it down and to break in. Inexorable down to 15 SCVs, 1 Marine. There are Hellions on the way, which will help, but we need time. And I'm loving the repositioning of this starport. We're walling up. Bearing in mind that Eric does not have the better economy. 18 workers to 15, so technically Inexorable has the superior economy. Banelings are looking to break through, but with that secondary wall, we should be able to hold. Yeah, we don't waste the Banelings. We don't waste the Banelings. We have control of the low ground. We're going to need more Banelings. The goal here now is to break down the Raxes. To bust through the Raxes, not the depot. Or the depot and then the starport. Here we go. We have another wall behind this. We need as much SimCity as possible. We need a second, a third wall as well. Banelings, they're breaking in. Oh, the wall is not a wall. There was a little opening. There was a small gap in the wall. We break through. Hellions are trading well. There's 3 Hellions left. Not enough Lings. We're holding. We're surviving. And back at home, Eric is forced to drone. He's forced to drone up. A couple more SCVs go down. But Inexorable has 2 orbitals. We can recover. Like, unironically, we can land our CC on the low ground. We can mule our hearts out and make 2 SCVs at a time. We can attempt to recover here. The problem is that we have yet to... There we go. Now we land our base. We are muling. The problem is that Eric was already re-droning, and Eric is up to 33 workers. He's droning up. We should be seeing a 3rd base. There we go. 3rd is now on the way. Now, if Eric is too greedy, if Eric doesn't make any Lings, and if he stays on 2 Queens, we can go for a Hellion counterattack. We have 5 Hellions at the moment, soon to be 6. And these Hellions, they can go to town. They can barbecue these mineral lines quite hard. There is potential. But that's only if Inexorable isn't too... if he takes a chance. I say take a chance because he doesn't know. He doesn't know if we're droning or not. For all he knows, there could be more Ling Bane massing up, right? There could be another wave of Zerg on the way. So it's risky, right? Do we move out or do we not? So the Hellions are staying back at home. We have Cyclones on the way that will shut down the Overlord, will deny vision. Speaking of, the Overlord is going to be hunted down. And we can cancel that eBay. Not yet, though. And now we're missing the timing. There we go. We cancel the eBay. The army can move out. The Cyclone, unfortunately, is a little bit stuck. Is trapped. Once we make these Hellions, we can go for the lift and go for the add-on swap and break out. We can break out. We can break out, man. Never mind. We just leave it back. And now we're pushing. The problem is that at this point we already have roaches. We have roaches. Eric, he has droned up to 2 base saturation. He's got a decent army. He can hold his own. Now we could try to get past the roaches and just rush into a mineral line, but yeah, Inexorable, he doesn't take his chance. He does pull back. Respects the roaches. And now we're calming things down. Armory is done. We can morph in Hellbats. You can see here the Hellions trying to outposition those roaches, trying to sit by. They try. Queens are in position. Roaches, they shut down the Hellions. We do slip in, though. 3 Hellions, they barely slip in. We catch 5 drones. 7 drones. Not bad. 7 workers go down. That's not bad damage here for these Hellions. But here comes the counterattack. Now, Hellions would not have helped against these roaches anyway, so I think this was a good moment for Inexorable. I think it was a good trade. The problem, of course, is we have Mass Roach and we have no tanks. Against roaches, we would need tanks, we need Banshees, need bunkers. Bunkers are finishing. 1 tank is on the way. There are no Ravagers. But this 1 tank might just be a little bit too late. Yeah, the roaches have arrived. They knocked down the first bunker. Repairs not in time. The tank does siege. Tank does siege up. Good kiting here from Eric. Ooh, shaving off a lot of Marines. If we overextend, we have to fight within range of the tank. 7 SCVs go down. Ravagers should now be on the way. We're joining up. Getting to an infestation pit. That's going to be 4 Infestors. Inexorable moving out with a drop. Double Cyclone drop. And Eric pulls back. Now, this was a good trade for Eric. Again, he maintained control of the economy. He got 7 SCV kills. Did bleed out a lot of roaches, but this hurts the Terran more than it hurts the Zerg. So Eric is on 3 bases. Soon to take gases. Ravagers are on the way. Double drop is coming in, but the army is in position back at him to defend. Not in the main, but at least at the third. We are at least at the third base. Job making its way in. We could maybe pick off an Overlord or two. We'll go for the Queens. We ignore the Overlords. We go for the Mineral Iron. Never mind. Get the lock on. One Overlord goes down. We could try to get another, but yeah, roaches do rotate in time. Terran player forced to unload. Catching another Queen. Oh, just barely not. Medevac barely escaping. Queens they try to catch. And it looks like they will. It's close. They catch the Medevac. Medevac goes down. Inexorable pulling back. Third CC on the way. Inexorable attempting to expand. Behind this, going for a drop into the natural base. Fungal does connect. The Miles! Ooh, not quite. That's 5 drones going down. Very nice drop here from Inexorable. Very nice drop. We got 5 workers. The tank count is building up. 2-2 is on the way. Likewise, Eric getting to his 4th. Hive tech. Oh my god. Yeah, the tech is in favor of Eric. With the Hive, we can get into Adrenal, start working towards Ultras or Vipers. 1-1 is done. We'll see how we settle in. Again, the biggest chance here for Inexorable is going to be to allow Eric to push into it, right? Is for Eric to take a bad fight on Inexorable's side of the map, pushing to this third or pushing into the natural. We can see Eric taking up into a Hydra Den. Okay. Roach Ravager into Hydra. Baneliness as well, so it's going to be, we're trying to work towards Link Main Hydra Lurker. We're getting there. Eric has his side of the map, taking another base. We have split up our roaches, but we haven't split up our infestors, which is a downside here. So we're going to be able to defend, but we're not going to be able to look down the drops. There's that Lurker Den, Vipers, now in production. Fire Army unloads, we can catch these Overlords. Very nice catch. 2 Overlords go down. Bleeding out some Marines. We can afford these trades. It's okay, it's okay. Inexorable still trying to stabilize. Likewise, still being active. Double drop on the right, double drop on the left. Eric has already pre-split his army. He's getting ready for this. Infestors in between both bases. Lurker Den finishing up. Eric joining up to 80. Currently on 74 workers, but soon to be more than that. As we double drop into the natural base. 1-2, still finishing up. We do barely save the Queen. Queen is saved. Drop is going to be cleaned up. The Miles! Thankfully, don't quite connect. Thankfully, they don't quite connect here. As Inexorable, he's slowly catching up in terms of supply. Like, I do enjoy his army. Like, his army is more efficient. Smaller, but packs quite a punch. 3-3 on the way for the Terran. Like, Inexorable is making a game out of this despite the start of the game. Despite how intense things kicked off. Meanwhile, Eric settling down into Lurker Tech. Nidus Worm on the way. Lurker upgrades as well. Barely saved the Overlord. And the problem here is I don't see Inexorable taking up 4. Like, he needs a 4th base, he needs another CC, but when he does, he's gonna spread himself thin. And that's gonna be the moment where Eric can strike. Is when the Terran expands. We can see Eric, he's looking for a 4th base, he's looking for an expansion, he has links at both 4th base locations. He knows that he cannot push into the 3rd. 4th CC's on the way. And that's gonna be the next big moment. As there we go, 4th base now being taken, 3-3 about to finish up. This is going to be the sign for Eric to push in. As he does find these medevacs, going for the parabombs, the double parabomb even. He will shut them down. Medevacs do fall. I'm loving the staggered parabombs from Eric. Meanwhile, 4th base is spotted. We bow down one of the libs. Eric should be responding. Waiting for these upgrades. Speaking of, I believe we're lacking some upgrades here. Yeah, we have not quite started 3-3. Or Aspire. Like, Eric, he has the money. Are we rotating over to respond? Does save the Evo chamber. Eric bleeding out some lings, bleeding out some roaches. We do want to get rid of these roaches. Additional Evo chambers on the way. Yeah, we have most of our upgrades, thankfully, for the lurkers. Now, Hydra upgrades. Professor's getting called out. And I'm waiting to see Eric spend his money. Like, Eric is not maxed. Looks like he's still trying to decide. Okay, we're going for Hydras. 16 Hydras on the way, 15 more drones. Makes sense, we're on a low drone count. Didn't even realize until now. We're only on 66 workers. We do need to build up that drone count. We still have too much Roach Ravager. Like, Eric, like, both players are maxed out, and I have to favor the Terran player. This Roach Ravager is dead supply. We have to get rid of it and refine our army. The Vials help against the Liberators, at least. Going for the Nidostorm into the main. A big reaction. Exorbital turning everything around. Going for the Nidosworm. The Nidus will finish. Nothing inside it. At the same time, pushing onto the front lines, catching some tanks. 2 tanks going down. This is going to be a bit of a messy push here from Eric. Takes down another tank, another Liberator. Going for the mineral line, going for the 3rd. Does barely break in. And behind this, we need a remax. Catching more libs. Inexorable being pulled apart. The Bio Army not where it needs to be. More tanks go down. Every Liberator as well. And the Terran Army caught out of position. Big spine shot here from the Lurkers. Eric trades insanely well. And behind this, he's remaxing with Lings. 100 Lings on the way. We're getting out of the Roaches into Ling, Bane, Hydra Lurker, Viper. Just mass Lings here. Still missing Banelings. And Lings are just flooding in. And they flood on forward. We're going for the tanks. We could try to go up the ramp, but okay, we pull back. We got Banelings on the way. I would love to see a Spire and a Greater Spire. Like, Eric has the money for it, but for now we're just sticking with this composition, which can still work. The Viper getting energy on the Nidostorm. I didn't know you could do that. True, Nidostorms do count as buildings. That's great. Oh my god. It's a way to gather energy on the front lines. I've never quite seen that before. And we're going for the dive. Where's the Blinding Clouds? We go Blinding Clouds on the tanks. Not enough Ling Bane though. Yeah, the Lings that were distracted by the Gas Geyser. So not the best trade, but it looks like we have enough. Yeah, we have enough anyway. Eric, he knocks down the main army. GG, well played. And Eric will take the series 3-0, becoming this week's Code for Giants Cup champion. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Eric, as he does claim his series was a very chaotic start. Remember, every game, Eric went for a 14-14. Here on Algione, Inexorable did go for a CC first. CC first into a Churax, into Reactor, into add-ons. No scouting information. Because Inexorable went for a greedy opener with no scouting information, Eric threw down the Bailey Nest, pulled back into gas, went for a Bane Bust, didn't kill his opponent, but did cripple him. Was able to eviscerate the economy, was able to reset the Hellions, the Marine count, was able to trade well enough to start droning and get ahead and get into a longer macro game. We did end up in a macro game and both players did max out, but we saw that, and I did favor Inexorable's main army. In a head-to-head fight, I favored the Terran player, but Eric pulled the Terran apart. Time and time again, he was able to pick off tanks, able to pick off Liberators. The Bio army was never where it needed to be to protect those important tech units, to protect the tanks and protect the Libs, and Eric pulled Inexorable apart. GG, well played. Congratulations. GG, well played. Congratulations to Eric. Fala galera, papi, fala. GG was an amazing run, and again, I'm unfamiliar. I'm unfamiliar with Inexorable. I have never been able to cast him before today. But I did hear good things, and Cosmos was regaling me with some stories about Inexorable, about how well he was performing, about his results, about his improvement, about he has been practicing with. For those curious, he practices with Future and Vindicta quite often, gets a lot of coaching from them, and yeah, I mean, it shows. Like, this may be a 3-0, but Eric is not a standard player. Like, this was a really chaotic series, and anyone struggles against Eric, especially if they don't have a lot of practice against him. But this is a good learning experience for Inexorable. Now he's a little bit more familiar with the way that Eric is opening up with 14-14s, and I'm sure he's going to be adapting in the coming weeks, in the coming months. The next time he faces off against Eric, I'm sure he's going to be more prepared. I am sure. GG, well played. With that, congratulations. That will be wrapping up our first broadcast of the day. I say the first broadcast because we have another World Team League. WTL was over the weekend, but we missed out on day one. If you remember, day one of WTL was supposed to be on Friday, but we were busy casting OSC King of the Hill, which means we missed out on day one of World Team League, and we're going to be catching up in 7 hours time. Sorry. Yeah, 7 hours time. In 7 hours time, we're going to be live on this channel with World Team League WTL, so if you're going to be around, if you go to bed, wake back up, we got you covered with some World Team League action. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow for some more StarCraft. Every day we got plenty of StarCraft on the horizon here. Home Story Cup is over the weekend, so keep an eye out for Home Story Cup action. We most likely won't be a part of Home Story Cup. I'm reaching out just in case, but I believe Home Story Cup is going to be taking place, and they have their own side streams going on. Regardless, do check it out. And yeah, with that, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching, everyone. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Again, this was a little bit different. This is a Brazilian-only tournament. It is a bi-weekly, and we will do our best to cast this every single 2 weeks. Every single edition of this tournament, we will do our best. And this has, you know, kind of inspired me a little bit to maybe try to reach out and maybe host some more tournaments as well for the Latin American scene. I miss it. It's where we started. It's where the CranKy Ducklings did begin. So we'll see. Maybe. Until then, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support. We'll see you guys in 7 hours, or we'll see you guys tomorrow for some more StarCraft action. Until then, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Hasta luego. Ciao, papi. Ciao. Hasta luego.